So what's going on, y'all? 7:15 on a Monday. You know the vibes. You know what it is. It's New York football talk. I know we're a man down. Jared Valluzzi, please get well soon. He's feeling a little under the weather, so couldn't make the show today. But I think we have two of New York's most wanted on the screen right now. Myself, between me and Coach Mac, man. What's the word, man?
Not much, man. Wild weekend of football, man. Great weekend, but wild weekend of football.
Hey, listen, man. What's my guy Lyle is in the chat, nice and early, man. Oh man. Look, if we if it wasn't playoff season, if it wasn't do or die getting ready, all we gonna say is we would definitely pull a couple of people up here tonight. This would be the night to have some guests.
Oh man, yo. Oh my
Oh man. Shout out to my guy Dre.
god.
Appreciate all you guys. Questions coming in already. But listen, the first thing we have to go over today, my guy E, we had to add some moderators. There's chat was kind of crazy. Craziest thing on Friday night, the chat had what, maybe 250, right? It was more out of control than when we had 1,000 people in the chat. Just that doesn't even make sense. But anyway, man, there's actually first place to start is actually right here, man.
Man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's it's really crazy looking at this.
Yeah.
Just for background, man, if you guys, I know I've mentioned it on the show before, but we created this schedule, this game of the week schedule in like June. I put the schedule together. I pitched it to all the coaches and everything like that, and we made it happen, man. Like we really made it happen, and you know we we over delivered. We were able to add two games to this list. Shout out to the 3A APR Fordham and the 2A, FJM and Eagle Queens, man. So it was freaking it's awesome, man. I just wanted to start with some thank yous, man. So for real. So the first set of thank yous is for Coach Jones from Eagle Academy, Coach Legree from South Shore, Coach Lambert from E Hall, and Coach O'Connor from Lincoln, man. It all started, with you guys agreeing to interview. Those interviews, man. I think I think we record those interviews in like early June. Like we record those interviews like 2 months, like a month and a half in advance because I wanted to make sure we had some room before everybody went to camp and everything like that. I know all those coaches. Some of those coaches probably hate to see me coming, especially Coach Legree. Like Legree knows that I always want to talk football with him. Really respect the football mind he has. But really appreciate you guys, sitting down with me, and that was kind of the build up to the Game of the Week series. And then also want to give a huge shout out to Coach Neville from Tottenville, Coach Gamble from Curtis, Coach Vega from JFK, Coach Appleby from Clinton, Coach Wendell from Utrecht, and the whole entire Canarsie staff, of course, just for you guys, let us come in and live stream. Quite a few of those venues I haven't live streamed that before, and you guys were all super open to it. Agreed to let me live stream the games, and it was a huge success, man. It was a huge success, and of course, the last thank you. Well, before I get to the last thank you, special shout out, and I'm gonna have a special post. It's my guy LJ Lincoln, shot by LJ. All of the graphics you've seen, including the one right here, is done by LJ. And that obviously, the graphic design, invest in graphic design, coaches, invest in graphic design. learn graphic design, New York City. It's very important. That was huge for the social media engagement and everything like that. We'll have a post to display with you guys some of the numbers, to give you guys a quick number right now. And, I showed Coach Mac this weekend, but, if we look at the Instagram views, I guess the profile views since September on the Sage Media Instagram page, I think we're at a million point two since September.
Damn.
And I'm really proud of that, not because it says Sage Media on the top, it's because of what it represents. I make cameos on my own page, on my own business page, right? The only cameos I make is when I'm interviewing one of the young men or young women who, made some history. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that's a million people, investing in New York City and everything like that. So, huge shout out to everyone for all the post game interviews and all that. Uh, Coach E, Coach E said he did 50K. Matter of fact, hold on one second, because I promised him I would do something. Give me 1 second, Mac.
Yeah, you good.
Oh,
I know what's happening right now.
it's all going awry. And it's funny, like my backdrop just fell, and I don't even have the shirt because I put the shirt in storage. But Coach E, it's funny. I literally did all that. I don't even have the shirt, so I just baited everybody. But shout out to Coach E, man. Saw him at the JFK game, and he gave me a shirt. And he's been supporting us all year long. That's a Catholic League champion, a state champion, and he's over there at JFK supporting the PSAL. Said, "Give me my shirt back." I baited. I can't lie. I definitely baited. I definitely baited. But shout out to Coach E for sure, man. Like I said, that's a state champion coming out to support the PSAL for sure. And I'm really happy that we're able to make a platform for everybody. So Coach Mac, um, my question to you, man, is just how different did this year feel?
I'm glad you asked that question. So I was going to start off by just saying, um, this is probably the most support that I've seen for the PSAL football in a long time, man. I was able to get to about, I want to say 4 or 5 games this season, and just the turnouts from parents, kids from other schools going to other games. It's just it's amazing, man. I haven't seen this kind of support in a long time, and I want to give you your flowers, man, for just shining a light on these games and these kids and these coaches. And I'm glad to see. And no offense to the older coaches, the guys that have been coaching for over 20 years, over 25 years, 30 years, because we still need those guys around to balance us out. When I say us, just the younger coaches kind of coming up, and it just shows that you can run a successful program many different ways. It's not one way to run a program. And I love that some guys are running programs a certain way. The older guys, they're not too much on social media that much. And then you have these younger coaches who are running phenomenal programs right now and doing it in a very new way. When I say new, social media is kind of taking over, and some coaches are adapting with the times, and some are not. But it's just shining a light on these programs, on these coaches. Dre, just streaming the game and just seeing how many people are watching, like 2, 3, 400 people watching a game. And then when you're actually at the game, you got 500 people at the game. It's amazing, man. Like, I know I troll and do everything on Instagram, and it's all out of fun. And it's really because like, yo, I haven't seen New York City football like this in a long time. I'm talking about from like when football shooters was on the scene. So yeah, I just want thank you. Like you said, LJ, TYJ,
Absolutely.
GG Media. It's so many shooters, man. That's just like shining a light on these kids, on these coaches, and just kind of getting the atmosphere. It's really amazing. Just like I had to take a second earlier today and like kind of sit back, and I was like watching through some of the games that you've recorded, and it's like, damn, man, all these people are watching online. And then like I was with you at the Canarsie South Shore game. Game was packed. But then I look on
Yeah.
YouTube and there's so many people watching the game on YouTube, man. So it's like, man, the support is there. And I think this year was a pivotal year of New York City moving in the right direction. Like I'm so excited for the youth football players right now, sixth, seventh, eighth graders, fifth graders coming up, and even those kids are at the games. Like you see youth football kids running around with their
Yeah.
jersey on,
Yeah.
like, yo, that's big, man. That's so big for the culture of New York City football. Despite what people may say, um, it's really on the rise. Like this is win, lose, or draw. Like this is win, lose, or draw. I'm speaking of even for teams that's not doing this well this season. Like moving forward, it just gives you something to look forward to, something
Yeah.
exciting. So much media, like this idea that you came up with this platform for this podcast, man. I'm on a weekend, I'm popping up to games, and they like, yo, Monday night, like, yo, like they're like, yo, Monday night,
It's crazy.
hey, Monday night, I want to hear what you got to say now. So it's like, damn, man, like this is a great idea about you, man. And I want to give my flowers to all of the coaches and the players for the season. I know we're coming up to the last week. Um, and I see somebody ask in the chat, only 8 teams make it from each division. So unfortunately, a good amount of schools, this is their last week. This is their last week of football. Um, and even for those schools, man, looking forward to next year, just seeing where we are trending in PSAL football, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. I was kind of a long-winded. This was kind of all day just thinking about it, and I'm just going through social media and just seeing all the different programs posting. They tagging the Move the Chains page so we could repost their scores from the previous week. Like, yeah, this is amazing, man.
Yeah, man. No, for real. And hopefully we're not being too long-winded. I think this deserves, some time just to sit back and review. Because I remember, looking at this in June and talking to you, to E, to Lincoln, to Jared about it, and looking at all these games, and it's kind of seemed like, damn, like can we pull it off? And we really did. And
Yeah,
another thing I want to shout out is to the class of 2025 for real. Like to me, I always this is gonna be try to follow this logic. Like, I'm 32 years old and I still look at myself as a new adult. Like, I feel like I look at all of us in our
thousand,
peers as new adults. Like, since when did we become the adults? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the ones in charge.
crazy,
And I just felt like, as the new adults, we really gotta support, the people coming after us, right?
1000%.
It said for everyone in the class of 2025, have you guys seen the back of the Sage Media hoodies? I always refer to what we do as recording history, and I always say it's your history. You know what I'm saying? If you look at sports in that light, like it's history, like it's just if you equate it to, I don't know, freaking everything that happened in the civil rights and all that kind of stuff, that like history, like that's really what sports are to me. It's history. You know what I'm saying? And it might not be history that goes into textbooks and stuff like that, but these are histories for these young men. I'm just looking over here, seeing some of the people, seeing Tajay on the screen, seeing Lyric on the screen, just to name a few. Like this is their history. Like they're never going to be high school seniors again. And we live in this digital age where if you look at YouTube, let's be real here, YouTube is most likely going to be around much longer
Oh,
than any of us.
definitely.
And encyclopedias are gone. If young boys, you might not know what an encyclopedia is. You might not even know what a textbook is these days. All you know what's going on in schools, the iPads. But YouTube is a digital encyclopedia and it has history on it. And this year, I really feel like, for the class of 2025, we're able to capture their senior year, class of 2026, 2027, 2028. We're able to capture your history, your freshman year, your sophomore year. And honestly, I really like the exclusivity of it. I like that it was just a foray. We squeezed some other teams in. I tried my hardest to get as many teams as possible, but I do like the exclusivity of it because I feel like it just pushes competition. Schools should want to play at the top division, should want to compete with the best and all of that. I want those head coaches meetings to be hectic. Like, yo, like I'm trying to get into the 4A. Look at all what's going on up there and stuff like that. But then we're still able to show love to the lower divisions as well. I'm not saying lower divisions are any worse or whatever, but yeah, obviously, the top division is the top division. So I think that's long-winded enough. Shout out to everyone, all the support you guys have been giving us. Mac, I mean, honestly, it really started with the Rising Stars game. I'm sure I can't Mac, can you reveal how many like applications you've gotten?
Yo, that's another thing, man. I definitely want to start the show. Um, Last year took a chance with it, man. I kind of shot you the idea of the Rising Stars game. You was like you loved it. Pinned it off of some guys that I frequently talk to. Um, Last year we had about maybe 270 kids kind of register for the game, and then we got to pick 44 from each side, from New York City, from Long Island. Right now we're at 398.
Are you serious?
So we're at 398, 398 student athletes have registered to play in the game. We only could pick 44 from New York City and 44 from Long Island. Man, we haven't even started watching the film yet because we kind of go through all the film and that's how we kind of select the kids. But damn, man, just like putting that kind of spotlight on the kids, and now the kids are looking forward to that game, and they're DMing the Move the Chains page and saying, "Hey, don't miss me." Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to play in this game. Sending their film in the DM. It's amazing, man. I know this process is going to take a little longer than last year's process, but just super grateful, super happy for the kids, man. Super happy for the kids um, that they get this opportunity to have the light on them, man. It's super dope. It's so dope, man.
Yeah. And
Prep Red Zone guys, they reach out
mhm.
to email and they're like, "Hey, before the game, can you send me your top 10 players from New York City, Long Island?" I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, like we haven't even gone through it, but it's so dope, man." Yeah, this year's I know that they just asked about the venue. This year it's in Long Island, so we kind of rotate between New York City and Long Island. This year is in Long Island. The venue will be kind of announced probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, man. So huge shout out to Move to Change, all the work you guys do. And the last thing I want to say is as I look at the thing and allow me to put him on blast with my guy, Preston Cottrell. He was a Eagle Academy class of 2000. My guy Monty saying New York Giants field. Maybe one day we'll go to MetLife. Um, but Preston Cottrell, class of 2024 from Eagle Academy, like I don't know, this little conversation we had before one of his games really stuck with me. And of course, you guys know the success of if you're living under a rock, the success of Eagle Academy's basketball.
Mm,
And I was just talking to him about it, and we're kind of looking around at the field, and there weren't so many people coming to the game, whoever Eagle was playing. And I just remember him saying like, "Yo, man, I really can't wait. I can't wait until we get that kind of press." You know what I'm saying? And that really stuck with me because, you know, when you look I guess when you look across the street and you see basketball, New York City basketball compared to New York City football, I mean, come on, man. Look at the amount of investment, the intention on New York City basketball, and shout out to them because they built that up. I mean, how many NBA players have they had, and
Oh
recently
yeah,
in high Division One athletes and all that. Shout out to that whole community, and some people in the football community are part of the basketball community as well. But
definitely.
seeing my guy 5 Star, seeing Mellow Films, the basketball media guys at the football games, they're messaging me like, "Yo, like, where should we go?" Like, da 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 da. Like, that's just really awesome, man. One of the players from 2024, it just always rings in my head, him saying, like, man, I really hope one of these days that we can get to that. And again, why I bring up the new adults thing is that, we weren't at that point for the class of 2024. We weren't ready last year, but this year, you know, Move the Chains was ready, Sage Media was ready, and we both really put on. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? So shout out to everyone in New York City and New York State because there's everybody has been watching. We can't do those numbers with New York City alone. So everyone has been watching. So shout out to everybody, man, for real. So really happy and it's a really proud moment. Wanted to take a good bit of time to shine light on it. But we know why all y'all are here for real. Y'all not here to say, "Oh, Andre, you back, great job."
yeah. Let's get to it. Yeah,
Let's get
yeah.
to
Let's get to
let's
it.
get to it, man. South Shore 58, JFK 30. The finale, well, I guess the penultimate finale. Let's call it the finale of the Sage Standout Game of the Week series because, you know, this is what we promised to the city. And a nickname was born. The man is here. Macademics. Oh, look, the Vikings are in the chat.
Yeah, they in the chat, man. They in
The
the
Vikings got
chat.
rubbing their hands,
They in the chat.
ready to get into this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Miss Jeremiah. I hope you're feeling okay. I know you went down injured, Jeremiah. I hope you're doing okay. Make sure you guys share it out because we're ready to get into this. All right, Mr. Macademics, I have to give you the floor first.
All right. For starters, I was gonna watch this game on your stream, Dre. That was the plan. I live in Jersey. Friday, I work in the school system. Friday, we had off. I was home. I was like, you know what? Give me a little glass of wine, turn on the TV, watch this game from home, from the comfort of my home. Um, Coach Ed calls me and he's like, "Yo, just come on, man. Just come out to the game. I'm going to the game." I'm like, "All right, you know what? Jump in the truck." Took me an hour and 40 minutes to get to the game, but on the way to the
Hour and 40,
game,
my God.
hour and 40 minutes, man. There was some traffic. It's a Friday. I'm coming from Central Jersey. Um, I'm like, you know what? Jump in the truck, make my way. On my way to JFK, I'm playing nothing but music from artists from the Bronx. Got Joe, a boogie with the hoodie. I gotta psych myself up because the JFK coach posted, if you thought last Friday was a movie, this Friday is gonna be, it's gonna be lit. So I'm like, oh yeah, when I get there, it's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be rocking. I already so going into this game, and everybody, I mean, I've been getting called out on it. Since the game, I thought this game was gonna be like score here, score here. You know what I'm saying? Back and forth, back and forth. I didn't think South Shore can stop their run game, and I didn't think that JFK could stop South Shore's passing game.
You were half right.
I was half right. I was half right. And then the South Shore, the JFK coach had me pumped, man. These dudes are posting Yu-Gi-Oh cards on their story, and he's posting a card. They was having a virtual duel. I'm like, damn, this, you know what I'm saying? This is gonna be nice. South Shore posted a video with a dude wearing black Air Forces. Just leading up to the game. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a battle. I honestly believe that South Shore's defense couldn't stop the wing T. I get to the game. Oh man! So I get to the game maybe 3 minutes before, I guess, after kickoff. JFK had already had their first drive. As I'm walking into the bleachers, South Shore has their first offensive play. And I'm walking and I'm watching the game, but I'm also walking to the bleachers, to the stands, and I see South Shore, they run a swing. So I'm like, damn, they threw the swing. But when I saw the kid catch the swing, it was Jakai. I'm like, oh, Jakai is playing running back today. All right, cool. You know, I know Jakai to play quarterback. He played quarterback for our 7-on-7 program. He catches the ball and chucks it down the field.
That thing, he let that thing go.
Rip. And I'm like, damn, yo. They scored. So now I'm trying to get situated. I'm coming into the stands. I'm already getting heckled. They're like, yo, you see? I'm like, yo, hold on, just got here. Let me find out what's really going on. Let's find out what's going on. They was like, yo, you know, it's more to come. So I'm like, I see the score is 7-0. Oh man. I have to choose my words wisely.
We are being recorded right now, so
Yeah,
we stand on it though. We stand on what we say. It's all good. We know we being recorded. We don't allow in the chat recorded right now. It's all good.
So
Scoob recording.
yeah, so I came to see Dre. Even when you're recording, you want to see a good game, right? So it's not that I'm rooting for JFK or I'm rooting for South Shore. Like, you know, I don't have a horse in the race, but I do. If I'm driving an hour and 40 minutes, I do want to see a good game. You know, back and forth. Seeing coaches scheme up different things. And football is kind of a chess match. You know, the defense kind of shows something. Offense got to adjust. Vice versa for both teams. Oh man. I guess you got to live and die by what you do. JFK runs the wing T offense, and listen, the wing T can be successful. It has to be successful because people wouldn't do it. You know, Navy and Army kind of run like a wing T option, and they're successful. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's the offense. I am going to say if you are running a wing T, for it to be successful, I feel like you have to have the more dominant players on your side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man. South Shore coaches was looking at me like, yo, did you see this team play before? Like, I don't know if they was questioning my football knowledge. So to give you some backstory, I've never seen JFK play in person, or I've never watched film of them. I've only seen TYJ highlights. They look amazing on TYJ's camera. That's all I've saw, and then I'm going from their record. It was what 5-1. Was it
5-1, and I think yes, they were 5-1 in the league. It was undefeated versus one loss.
So did they come into this game undefeated? versus South Shore.
No, no, South Shore was undefeated, and JFK in the league, their only loss was to Curtis. So yes, JFK was at 5-1 going into the game. It was 5-1 versus 6-0.
They had 5-1 versus the best team, arguably in the city. Um, so that loss to Curtis, it didn't really tell me anything.
Mhm.
Curtis is they have a great team this year. They're rolling. So I'm like, yo, I'm definitely looking forward to a good game. South Shore coaches was looking at me like this ain't even gonna be close. And I'm like, damn, the game is going on. Oh man, I gotta choose my words wisely. Um, yeah, I'm not listen, and I'm not here to offend any programs. Um, but to take a screen, like we taking screens 50, 60
And
yards?
for 50, 60.
No,
Let
man, that's unacceptable, man. Let's just call it what it
yeah,
is.
yeah, let me jump in here. And shout out to my guy ETYJ. And he said it perfectly. And quote your sources, please. Always got to quote your sources because ETYJ, he really was like, yo, it felt like every time a receiver touched the ball, it was going to be a touchdown. That is what it felt like. So, first of all, I want to shout out, and we know who the star is. We'll give him his whole segment. I want to shout out the South Shore receiving crew. Adrian Antoine he said, yo, you got to feel us every week. And I want to tell everyone right now, I mean, the regular season only has one more week, so it's almost over. But you all have been caught by the South Shore smokescreen. You see them on Instagram and you think it's all for play. You see them and oh, I just saw someone in the chat. Oh, they're beating on 3A teams. You're seeing all that and you're not watching the games and you're not looking at the details. Because this wide receiver group, not only are they going to catch a touchdown behind you, not only are they going to make you touch earth, but they are going to block you into the sideline. That's what these wide receivers. You see Rich Perkins dancing, Tajay making somebody miss, Adrian running past someone, but you're not locked into how hard these wide receivers are blocking. All those screens, all those touchdowns, yes, Tajay was excellent. Rich Perkins out of this world. And I don't want to name the other wide receivers just because I can't name everyone, but you know, they when I was looking at and I was working the camera, I saw at least two JFK players in the ground or on the sideline. And then Rich Perkins or Tajay only had one person to make miss. And they made two people miss. Sometimes three, sometimes four. So I want to give a huge shout out to the South Shore wide receivers for the blocking. And we got to talk about this South Shore defense, man. I still would like to there are still some concerns when it comes to the run, for my opinion. But for the most part, everyone thought that this would be the big test, and it was a big test for them, a very gritty JFK team, and it was not a contest. Shout out to my guy Manny, number 3, always puts on, always running as hard as he possibly can. But these South Shore linebackers, Daniel Germain, Christian Etienne, David Jacob, they were just they were so physical. And something I have been asking for the South Shore linebackers to be more physical. It was a big test for them. And I felt like they definitely passed the test for sure. Of course, in the quarterfinals of the playoffs, there's gonna be a bigger test because all those top 4 teams, they all can run the ball very, very well, and they're all very, very physical. So huge shout out.
Who's number 6?
Number 6 on South Shore.
Yeah, man. Like, wow. Yeah, like, yeah, man. Like, salute
That's
to that kid.
just Joel Fernandez.
Yo, salute to that kid, man. I'm talking about the kid plays corner, and when the run came his way, he was laying the boom. Like, salute,
Yes.
salute to that
Yes.
kid, man. He's that was good. That was good. That was good to see that kids, and I feel like nowadays, I think these kids are great tacklers. It'd be a few kids here and there that's like solid hitters. He's like one of those kids where it's like, all right, yeah, it's coming my way. I'm trying to lay the boom. Like, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
tackle you. I'm trying to lay the boom. I think the refs called like personal foul on him. I was like, bro,
Yeah, it was weird. That
yeah,
was
it is
weird.
what it is. That's kind of the time we living in as far as football. But yeah, he had a great game. He had a great game.
No, no, absolutely. And it's still a big test. There's still, like I said, I still think there's some stuff they got to fix in the middle of the defense when it comes to rushing the run defense. And of course, they're going to be tested by, you know, whoever they see in the quarterfinals are going to have extremely skilled wide receivers. Extremely skilled wide receivers.
Mhm.
So, there's more tests for them to come, but you know what? There's a few people, like I said, I referenced this already, but someone saying that, oh, they've been playing 3A teams. Shut up. Just shut up. The team came from the 2A,
Yeah, man.
and you told them that they weren't playing no comp. They jump over the 3A, get to the 4A,
Salute.
packing everybody up that they've played in the league. Of course, they lost to Canarsie, but in PSAL play, packed everybody up. And y'all still, it doesn't work like that. Y'all hold us accountable, right? Y'all see us and y'all hold us accountable. Hold yourself accountable too.
Yeah.
Because there's some people you have to have better sports takes. You can't criticize South Shore for their competition and then say, oh, and they were in the 2A, so right? Do they have a big test? Yes, in the quarterfinal, and of course they have another game to play, right? I'm pretty sure that New tricks, so they have to get the job done. Um, but they have a big quarterfinal matchup to play, right?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
they going to be favored in that game? No. Doesn't matter who they play. The
True.
four horsemen are the four horsemen for a reason. And when I interviewed Coach Legree, he said, we as coaches, we were athletes and we wanted to play the top competition. And we want to instill that into Monty, you're really funny. We want to instill that into our players. And that's what they've done. Um, these players want to play the top competition. Shout out, we just got over 100. Shout out to everybody.
Oh,
Um, these players want to play the top competition, and you got to respect them for that. Now, I should have had a special graphic for this, but I was thinking about doing it, making a special graphic,
Dre,
but we didn't do it for any. Oh,
before we
go ahead.
move, before we move on, um, my last take on the JFK game.
No,
Uh,
no. I still want to talk about JFK. I haven't. I
okay,
was
all right,
just
so
doing
let's just
South Shore
moving
first.
on. So the coach from JFK, he was like, "Yo, Friday nights, and we had the best atmosphere. It's a party here. We have our home
Yeah.
games." And for the first half, I was trying to figure out like where the party was, and like, when the party was going to start, and how this party look, like how what I'm saying, what was the setup? I know a good party when I see one. The score at this point was maybe 22-0, something like that. It was crazy. But JFK scored, right? JFK scored, and the lights in the stadium started flashing. Some music came on. I'm like, oh, so I can see that when they're winning, it could be a lit atmosphere. They had like some red lights going on, graphics on the jumbotron. I mean, yo, like, yeah, the Peter Guns. Yeah, they score. Music come on. If it wasn't for the Bronx, I'm like, oh, this could be nice in a different situation. I feel like South Shore kind of messed up um, my initial impression of how Kennedy games, home games, is supposed to look like. So I definitely want to go back at another Friday night. Hopefully, they got another Friday night game where they're dominating the team, because I could definitely see people in the stands dancing and really having a good time. Like that's fire for whoever set that up at JFK with the lights, and even the city is kind of pouring more into the fields. Like kind of everybody's getting like new fields and jumbo. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's dope, man. That was dope.
Yeah,
That was dope to see. Like
and, and
I was pissed off that they didn't score more, Dre.
yeah, and just to jump in real quick, like first of all, shout out to everyone at the JFK staff, and we're talking about the social media stuff just to promote the game, obviously, and to review it, and that's a part of it. And keep this up, like just because you lose and you got to take your L, like nobody's hating, not hating, but all I'm saying is don't be afraid, like, oh, like we posted and we lost this time, so we're not gonna post next time. Like, no, like we want to this league, like this is the new modern day digital marketing.
Or
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the JFK staff, like keep that up. South Shore, keep it up. And just like Max said, all the coaches, everyone has their own style, but um even whatever style you have, even if it's old school, it's important to have a social media presence.
oh
We've
yeah.
spoken about that, and the numbers have shown.
Yes, yes, yes. And
Um,
I think most programs, even programs with coaches with head coaches that's been coaching 25, 30 years, I think even those programs, they're getting people to run their social media, which is great. You need those kind of guys around to stay relevant with the kids that's coming up. You want to connect with those kids. That's super important.
yeah, man. So have to talk about this, and they need their own segment. Nick Cyrus and Rich Perkins. First of all, congratulations to the two young men for breaking the school records. And that wasn't the only school records that were broken this weekend. We'll talk about the school record that was broken in the two-way game. Um, Uzzi, what's this one? You said he was gonna say some more about.
Yeah, Dave.
No, so Uzi isn't feeling well today. He's not ducking no smoke. Trust me. Uzi probably in the chat. So Uzi, Uzi, you can talk to coach. Yo, yo, coach, chill though. Uzi, what you
Yeah, that's great.
oh, coach coming? Yo, coach, we have a segment where we're thanking you. We're like, yo, coach, gritty, appreciate you. Yo, my guy come in
That's
looking for Uzi.
The social media bowl is crazy though. I ain't gonna lie, that's great. That's crazy.
Yo, that's crazy. Shout out to coach, but
Oh,
yo, that's
that's
crazy.
why Jared called off tonight. All right, makes sense.
Yo, y'all not do that to my son Jared. Stop that. Stop that. Y'all not do that. But yeah, so all right, let's get into it first. Rich Perkins, 4 touchdowns. All right. This is my segment here just for a minute. Of course, I'm on here, right? And I talk about the top wide receivers. And at the time, I didn't have Rich as the top wide receiver. After Friday night, I was like, wow, I'm gonna have to come in on Monday and reverse what I said. This morning I saw what Solomon did. I was like, damn, Solomon, I wish you didn't have, I think Solomon had like 200 plus all-purpose yards, threw for a touchdown. Yo, what are you talking about?
Yo, E&J is crazy.
Yeah. Yo, listen. No, honestly, I made a face. I was just like, damn, I gotta see this kid play. Because at the time I hadn't seen Rich play. But 4 touchdowns over 200 yards. First of all, let's scratch what I just said about comparing these two, because these two players, I'm gonna say it right now, they are the top 2 players, top 2 receivers in this league. I don't know how many first team, how many slots for wide receivers are usually on the first team all city list? Is it 2 or
4?
3?
It might be 4, 3 or 4 maybe.
Oh, it's that many?
Yeah.
4? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if it's 2, those are the top 2 receivers in this league by far. Rich Perkins, you know, the numbers, I'll be honest, I was taking the numbers with a grain of salt. I was definitely taking the numbers with a grain of salt. Um, a lot of the film, of course, the eye test is very important. You have to trust what you see with your eyes and how you evaluate football. I definitely saw, a lot of wide open touchdown catches, right? Which is shout out to the scheme
Mhm.
and to Rich as a runner, of course. Um, but yeah, that's what I saw a lot on the film. Last Friday night was, I mean, that was a show. That was that was an absolute show on Friday night. When you talk about moving in a phone booth, that was ridiculous. He had 3 people around. First of all, he catches the ball in traffic. I think it was the second touchdown. That was the second most impressive. No, that was the most impressive one to me. He catches the ball in traffic on a post. There's 3 people around him. Steps left, boom, out of the triangle, the Bermuda Triangle, scores a touchdown. That that is impressive stuff. If multiple Division One programs aren't knocking on the door, y'all got to knock on the door for Nick, because just like my guy 5 Star was saying, like that is very bad timing. And one thing we were saying privately, Mac, like it was, we asked the players to flip the switch and just talk about Rich, because he looked different. Something was different to us, just to us who've evaluated him before. It felt like something was different Friday night.
So I'm going to touch on what Rich did to JFK, which was terrible. It was terrible. Like if I had a son and he played corner at JFK, we're probably turning in that equipment that Monday coming up, because that was embarrassing. We're gonna get to that. I think South Shore's offense as a whole. I know teams get better as the season goes on. They get more comfortable. They understand the playbook better. This South Shore offense didn't look like the same offense when I
From the
watched
Canarsie game.
the game.
Yeah,
Um,
completely different.
yeah, they just look more sharp, so much more comfortable. The timing of the pass game. Um, and I feel like one of my beliefs is, in order to be successful in offense, you have to have a successful run game. They proved that wrong. Um, their run game is like a screen game, but they're taking screens. They was taking screens like 60 yards, which is crazy, man. Rich looked. I didn't. So I've been watching Rich from when he was at Canarsie. I knew the kid was fast. Friday, he looked unbelievably fast. Like, I know the kid that they have, Adrian. I know
Yeah,
Adrian is like, he's
the
fast.
burner.
He may be
Yeah.
the fastest kid on their team. Um, Rich looked like unbelievably fast. Well, I'm like, whoa, like the speed of the game that South Shore is playing right now is not the same speed of the game that JFK is playing. It just didn't look like they was on the same level of game speed, and that's where I know things was gonna turn out kind of ugly, man, because they were just moving so much faster, and I'm like, damn, like he's making one cut, he's putting his foot in the ground and just taking off, and it's like they couldn't even like get a hand on him. 12 versus real in a 40. Yeah, I thought so. I think the kid Adrian may be the fastest on their team. I don't think there's nobody on their team that's faster than the kid Adrian. For Rich to look like that swift, yeah, man, that was super impressive. Overall, he just looked super crisp. Tajay ran a route, which I thought was an angle route. Um, his Coach Schultz's kind of, was like, nah, that was an option route. Like, damn, like
Yeah.
the
It was
timing.
yes,
What?
the timing. It looked like he ran a slant and stop, and then he kept going. I saw another angle of it. That's kinda what it looked like.
To me, I didn't even see him on the field at one point, and then he just appeared in the middle of the field. So I'm like, oh, he must have came out of the backfield and ran a Texas route. No, that wasn't the case. It was an option route. He popped open. It seemed like Nick Cyrus knew where he was going to be. The timing, that's something. It's just like, yeah, I feel like they're getting super comfortable with each other, um, and that could be scary. That could be scary moving forward. I'm not sure. I know later on in the show we're going to kind of break down the playoff picture. We're heading into the last game of the season, so we kind of have an idea. I know this last week of football can change some things as far as where teams get placed, but I'm pretty sure we have a pretty much solid idea on.
Uh, not the matchups, 'cause we'll talk about it, but
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. This last week of
it's
football,
crazy. This last week determines everything.
yeah, it can shake up things. This last week of football definitely can shake up things, but we'll see. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing who South Shore. I mean, South Shore play Utrecht. Utrecht is trying to rebuild their program right now, so I'm not really looking forward to knowing the score of that game. Um, and then last thing, man, was South Shore trying to like break a PSAL record of like points scored in a game? Because we in the fourth quarter. We're in the third quarter, and they're throwing the ball, trying to score. They're pissed that they only had one drive in the third quarter. I'm like, yo, it's over. Like, we get it. Like, it's over. We can stop it. Like, if the refs would have called the game in the third quarter, I know we beef about PSL refs, but I would have been on PSL refs side at that moment. Like, we get what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Um, at
Yeah.
that point, it was
Hmm.
embarrassing.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, that's what I disagree with, though. Like, yeah, I know the score was lopsided, but JFK did not stop competing for 1 minute. Again, shout out to Manny. I've said on here already. Manny, number three, is one of my favorite players in the PSAL. Derek Batansis. Hopefully, you get well soon. I don't think that would have affected the outcome, but it definitely would have been closer. And you see Coach Legree in the chat. Um, this is what I think on it, and I think coaches when it comes to the ends of the end of a game and a lopsided game, I'll leave the coaches to have their opinion on it. As a I guess as a media person and just analyzing, my opinion, this is this is top level football, man. That's my opinion of it. This is top level football. This is the team trying to tune up for the playoffs. This is a team in JFK that's going to be in the playoffs. Has had an incredible season, and if we want to move forward as a league, everyone's mentality has to be play to the last minute,
For sure.
improve. You know what I'm saying? Like we keep asking more of these kids to compete to the last minute and all that, and that's what South Shore did. It's not, South Shore's responsibility to make everybody feel good. Coach Legree has been in a locker room. Coach Legree and the other coaches have been in the locker room, closed doors, and they said to their players that this is the goal and this is where we want to be. And like I said, this is not Pop Warner football, man. And JFK did not treat it like that. JFK, if I'm not mistaken, JFK did not take out their starters. I'm not sure if they made changes on defense, but I'm pretty sure their offensive guys stayed in the game
They stayed
and
in
they
the
got
game.
a couple of touchdowns at the end of the game. So, between coaches, I'm gonna let the coaches handle, how they feel about it between the coaches. But I'm just saying my point on it. This is big league football. If you get put to the sword, you get put to the sword. And JFK didn't stop competing.
Definitely. No, they was fighting. They was fighting. That's what I definitely could respect about them. They didn't just fold and kind of pack it up. They were still trying
Yeah,
to, get their plays off and run their offense. But
no,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely, and
even Dave Agree just said, and that's a good point about getting the kids film, getting the kids recruited. That's a great point, man, because all that stuff does go on film.
no, absolutely, and you know, just wanna. I know we've been on the subject a little long. Want to keep it moving a bit. I didn't really say my part on JFK, so I just want to say a few things on JFK. It's a very disappointing result for them, of course. This is a game. First of all, people, you got to quit the talk about, oh, how was this the game of the week? It's a blowout. Y'all, you earn being the game of the week before the season, before the game.
Yeah,
It was 6-0 versus 5-1.
yeah, that's a good, yeah,
JFK earned that spot.
yeah.
They fell short behind the scenes. We're not going to go over it, but JFK, they're dealing with some stuff. But of course, there's a football game to be played,
Mhm.
and they weren't on it, and that's why I use the term getting put to the sword because this is at the end of the season. This is winning time right now. Players are fighting for their lives, fighting for history to be champions, trying to tune up, get ready for that. And if you're not at that level, if you're not mentally at that level, I'm not accusing them of not being ready for the game, but if you're a half step off, this is what can happen.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't believe JFK is 28 points worse than South Shore.
You don't believe
And
that?
let's be real, the difference on that night was really 42 points. Like let's be completely honest, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe that JFK is 42 points worse than South Shore. I don't believe that they're 28 points worse than South Shore. This was a
What do you
it was an
believe?
unfortunate. Sorry, what?
What do you believe? You say you don't believe that they're 48 points
I
less.
don't. I don't believe that the score line represents how good JFK is.
Mm.
I do. I believe that JFK is a good team. And good teams get beat. We just saw Lamar Jackson lose to the Browns 2 weeks ago. Um,
Okay. Okay.
Coach is asking what I believe. Listen, I believe that JFK can compete with you guys. I believe
Mm.
like let's say behind the scenes, I think I predicted this game to be a one score game or something like that. Right.
Mm.
I personally don't believe that it's a 28-point difference between the two teams. Um, so no, JFK had a bad night. We spoke about the tackling. Um, and listen, maybe some people won't love how we spoke on the tackling, but again, this is not Pop Warner football, man. This is not Pop Warner football. And if you want to have a platform, we have to be able to speak honestly on the platform. And that defensive performance was not good enough. It wasn't good enough. All credit to the South Shore players, but the tackling, the pursuit to the football, the intensity on defense, it wasn't enough. It was not enough. Um, so for JFK, it's back to the drawing board. You're gonna be in the playoffs.
Definitely.
You're gonna have a chance to make a big upset, just like South Shore. Like this, you like even after this game, JFK and South Shore are still in the same boat to me. They're dark horses in the playoffs, and they're hoping to make an upset. So they're still in the same boat for me. Season is not over. Get healthy, get your mind right,
Sure.
and get ready for the playoffs. And to PYT, I don't know what you're talking about there. Like I said, I commend, first of all, I always share the quote and it's pinned on my Instagram, on social media, on my Sage Media page. And I hope to not unpin um, that quote. And it's the man in the arena. So go, if you don't know that quote, go look at that. And the coaches who put in the time all week, the players that have been Pop Warner players looking up to play to the varsity players, and now they're varsity players. They're the men and the young women in the arena. You know what I'm saying? So they can come on social media, they can pump the game up, and the game might not go their way. But I don't think anybody is delusional or anything like that. JFK, they lost the game on Friday night. That's it. I personally don't believe that the scoreline represents how good of a team JFK is.
So Jay, let me ask you. So if South Shore was to see JFK again, um, you think the outcome would be potentially different?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
Oh,
no, I don't. I think South Shore is a better team than JFK.
oh, okay.
I don't believe that they're 28 points better than them. Listen, the South Shore.
I was just,
So this is a good question. So does this speak to how good we are? And I saw someone in the chat saying, um, wow, made me laugh. That's my cat. Wow, made me laugh. Um, is there a top five in this league? I always come on here and I say the four horsemen, right? Because this league is absolutely the four horsemen. And I will say I do think there is a difference between the top five in this league and everybody else.
top five.
I do believe that clearly South Shore is in the top five in this league, and I think that they have proven that they are separated from the rest of the league. But to me, there's still four horsemen. That the term is the same, four horsemen. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Like
we're leaning more
until
towards like the six. Maybe I'm maybe in. I always come on here.
oh yes, Canarsie. I did forget Canarsie. Yes, yes. Sorry, you're
Yeah, I
talking about
always
Canarsie,
come
right?
on here. I say something that may be outlandish. Yes, there was four. I think now we have evolved to six. I, I want to say that. I think we're at six right now. I think we have six teams um, that can go out and it'll be a competitive game. I think we have six right now.
Mhm.
I want to say we have six.
Yeah. No, 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 no. I agree. And in my statement, I did forget about Canarsie, but I'll even go out on a limb, and I've said this privately in the chat, of course, and I'll bring it publicly. I'm almost not evaluating that Canarsie game when I evaluate South Shore anymore because the the level of improvement from that game. So when I think about it, right, I was really thinking about the league. I feel like Curtis has just been so consistent. They have been the best team this year, consistency wise,
Definitely.
right? Then you have Ehol and Tottenville who have remained a consistent level of excellence, right?
Really?
And we'll talk about Lincoln later, but I think Lincoln is peaking at the right time. Now they have a big matchup this week, but
They
I've been
do.
very impressed with their defense over the past couple of weeks, even that Curtis game. So I
Yeah.
believe Lincoln are peaking at the right time. And now when it comes to South Shore and Canarsie, yes, we're playing a bit of theoretical football.
Mm-hmm.
Canarsie won the Battle of the Floss. I do think South Shore has progressed further than Canarsie.
All
The
right.
offense,
Let me stop you right there. Um, yes, I agree with you. I think South Shore, since that game, their team as a whole has gotten better. Um, Canarsie had that canceled game where they
which
didn't.
is still we still don't know what's happening with that. It's madness.
Yeah, that and that. I mean, people are saying like I had people come up to me after the Chiefs at Eagle game talking about they're gonna play 2 games in 3 days, which is I have no idea how that's gonna work. But I feel like when that game got canceled, it was no Canarsie football that week. Um, and then they go on to play Curtis. I think the week after, I believe, right? No, they
Who's
played. So
that?
they put
They're
no,
playing
they didn't.
Tottenville.
They played New Dorp. Sorry, right after the
Yes,
canceled
New Dorp.
game, they played New Dorp 34-0 against New Dorp. Um,
Mhm.
that I think New Dorp is a good program. Just a good football program for years. They may be having a down year right now, but I think New Dorp is a good program. So for Canarsie to win 34-0 says a lot. Then they go and play Tottenville. We all know what's up with Tottenville. Final score 31-12. Now, and that's another thing. Somebody asked me in the JFK game, what is considered a BTA? I would say 14 or more points, but it also depends how the game went. That 31, I watched some of the highlights from that game. 31-12. Yeah, things got out of hand, but I still think Canarsie can compete at that level. When I say that level, I mean with the E Halls, with the Curtises. Um, that's why I kind of grouped them all together.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And we got the top 8 teams making it, and I think that's going to be pretty entertaining, man. It's going to be 2 other teams in that 8 that things may get really ugly come playoff football. But outside of that, I think it's going to be competitive games.
Yeah. So, like I said, I know I'm playing a little bit of theoretical football, and some of the Canarsie players will be like, "Oh, we beat them," but like I said, I just using the eye test. I do think that South Shore is in the top 5. Last words on this. I feel like we definitely spent a lot of time on this. It was we peaked at 115.
All right.
So I clearly people were waiting to talk
Yeah,
on this.
yeah, for sure.
So last words on this.
Last words. Thank God South Shore didn't order Uber Eats. Somebody came to me and said we don't eat in the Bronx. Another coach, I ain't gonna say who it was, invited me to a game night that he said it was 10 minutes away from the field. That was crazy. Game night after a game is crazy. But yeah, that's my last words of that game, man.
No, it's hilarious, man. So shout out to South Shore. Have one more game and they will be undefeated in the PSAL 4A if they win against Utrecht on not sure what night that is, but shout out to you guys.
Yeah, they'll take care of business.
All right. So let's get to yeah, you missed a lot. Let's get to the next game of the week. And very excited that we were able to put this one on.
So
We had FJM against Eagle Queens, a battle of 2 unbeaten teams, and maybe it was the first round of 2. Elijah White in the building. Shout out to you. Had a big game, clutch catches. But it was Eagle Queens who were able to get the W 22-12. Mac, you were right next to me, and the back of your head was in a lot of shots, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even see that. That's crazy.
But yeah, Monty, you out of pocket for that, Monty. So Mac, I know this is your old squad, man. So of course I have to let you take this one first.
Man, these that's crazy, man. Let me know when this recap is over. Yeah, man. Both of these teams were like super pumped for this game.
Super pumped. If
Super.
you guys, real quick, I don't know who tuned in for the last week when we split up the shows, so the second show with the 3A, 2A, and 1A. But it was lit in this chat, like out of nowhere. The second we started talking about this game.
Yo, Bacon Shark is crazy. We'll get to that.
Bacon Shark.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Every time I see 3,000 Avalanche, I think of Master Ace. That's crazy. So Master Ace, my godfather. That's funny you say that. Circling back. Yeah, so this game, crazy. Both teams are super pumped for this game. A lot of trash talking going back and forth. Oh, that's what I wanted to mention. Somebody said that they hate the fact that they changed the school's name. They're actually changing it back.
What? Oh,
yeah,
thank God.
That's what I meant.
Everyone hated that. No disrespect to Frank J.
Yeah,
I don't know, probably a solid young man or old man, assuming. But
just to answer Chappie's, they are changing it back. Well, they're working through the whole kinks of changing it back to Sheepshead Bay. Because even on the front of the school, it still says Sheepshead Bay High School. But yeah, man, both of these teams were like super pumped for this game. Both undefeated, only two undefeateds in the 2A. Coaches texting me before the game and yeah, man, talking crazy. Might get their powers back. Yo, hopefully, man. Hopefully. Yeah, Sharks and Sheepshead Bay High School. Yep. So pregame, I can tell that I don't know if this is their both teams' rituals, but they was going in and out the school like 4 times. I don't know if that was nerves. I don't know if they came out, warmed up, went back in, came back out, did like a second warm up, then went back in. I'm like, yo, at what point are you guys gonna stay out here and get ready for this football game? Like the in and out was like throwing me off. That's how I know, like, even coaches, players, just like kind of nervous for the game. Yeah, man. Eagle look good. Eagle look good.
to their record breaker, Pata.
Eagles quarterback. Saturday school during the game is crazy. Yeah, I didn't understand.
Hold on. Timeout. Wait, timeout for a second. Timeout. Because I've seen this a few times in the chat. Y'all need to chill out on the disrespect for the 2A because this game had better numbers than some of the 4A games. All right, so stop disrespecting them.
And
this
also,
game,
man,
this game did great.
I think both of these programs within the next year or two is going to be in the 4A. I do believe that, man, and I think it'll be interesting to see how that looks and how they fit in the 4A. Next 2-3 years, in my opinion, the way things are going, the way Eagle looked, even Sheepshead, like the Eagle came out and kind of like you could tell they was a little more prepared for the game. And then it kind of took Sheepshead a little bit to like kind of get flowing.
You prepared is the word?
No.
No, I'll let you keep going. I don't want to interrupt you. I'll wait.
I think Eagle. So Eagle came out, ran a toss, and scored. It got called back for holding,
Yeah, yep.
But it just seemed like they came out like a little more confident. Whereas in Sheep said it kind of took them through the midst of the game to kind of get going. Um, honestly, if I'm Sheepshead going into that game offensively, we know we have to you have to score more points. Offensively, they scored six. They ran a kick return back, Jacob Reed. I know you're gonna talk about Jacob Reed. He was kind of
Absolutely.
yeah, he was kind of
Absolutely.
he was all over the place, man. Defense, special teams, offense. Um, but going into the game, you gotta know, we gotta score more than 6 points offensively. Um, Eagles quarterback, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Severin. Pata Severin.
Severin. Um,
It's a good question. What? Keep
man,
going. I'm gonna answer that question for you in a second.
that is crazy. My bad. That's crazy, bro. Yo, hey, go to sleep, man, please. Yeah, that kid, the quarterback for Eagle, solid. I mean, great leader, stayed composed throughout the whole game, kept the team up. Was throwing darts, man, throwing darts. Like to see quarterback play. I wish other quarterback coaches and offensive coordinators from the 4A could have seen this kid play. Solid kid, can sling it. Um, he can sling it, and they were just they were ready for that game. They were ready. They were prepared. What's the number of TDs? So,
I'll look it up. They posted it. Keep going. Keep
yeah,
going.
I'm not sure. They did post it, but his stats is like so. I think Nick Cyrus is 1. I think the kid Patah is like 3, and he's 3 in PSAL, and they missed the game because Lafayette had forfeited their season. Forfeited.
10. So I think it's 10 he's thrown. I'm gonna
He's
go to PSAL, but they posted it's 10.
and this is and so I haven't seen Eagle play this year. I thought Eagle ran a spread offense. They don't. So he's throwing this from like they was running like 13
Standard kind of eye.
personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 personnel. They have like 3 tight ends. I'm like, golly, like you doing that with this kind of
Oh,
offense? So that was super impressive.
wait,
Um,
real quick, if Patah's in the chat, the graphic on Instagram says you threw for 10 touchdowns, but on PSAL it says 14. So if someone in Eagle wanna clear that up for us.
maybe they updated it after this last game. I'm not sure. Maybe that graphic was before the Sheepshead game. I
Yeah,
think
I'm not sure.
2 in the game. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, man, I think this is going to be a game that we see again. Do for 14 this year.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so the graphic says 10 though. That's weird. Okay, so it's 14. I just want to make sure I say that right. So
yeah.
it's 14. So it is 14. Okay.
I think this is going to be a matchup that is going to happen in the 2A championship. The same exact team, maybe a different venue. I think they might play. I'm not sure where Eagle plays their home games, but it's probably going to be a home game for Eagle. Oh no, actually, PSAL should have some kind of location for this game. Where they have the championship games.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Also, before we move on, the kid Manny reached out to me. If you guys saw the game, there was like a crazy face mask where the kid from Elijah's helmet came off. So nasty tackle. Um, the coaches from Eagle thought it was intentional. It definitely was not intentional. That kid, know the kid personally, he plays for my 7-on-7 program. Super, super nice kid. And he wrote me and just said, yo, on the podcast, please just let the kid Elijah know that he apologized, which is very, very dope of him. Definitely wasn't intentional. I know it kind of got out of hand at that moment, but yeah.
Yeah, and just seeing it, I even explained it live on the call that
Yeah,
the kid left his feet. It was kind of like a last ditch effort. It might have been a touchdown saving play, and his hand kind of just got caught, and he was airborne, and it looked bad,
it
but
was
there
bad.
was definitely
Yeah,
no bad intentions on that. And I'm pretty sure everybody was okay. So,
yeah, I think he's fine. I didn't reach. I gotta reach out to him. I think he's fine though.
real quick, so Kim is asking. So I'm not sure what you mean by NYC PSAL versus PSAL two-way. Um, Eagles 7-1.
So she's talking about
So
the difference between the PSAL league the two A is the division that they play in. So the New York City PSAL is broken up into four divisions: 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. The 8-1 and 7-1. That's just their record. Eagle was supposed to have another game, but Lafayette forfeited. So that's their current records right now. And the 2A is the division that they play in within the PSAL.
yeah, but where does it say Eagles 7-1? I'm confused there.
Does it say 7-1 on PSAL?
It definitely doesn't, but yeah, yes, the two-way, yes, there's four divisions in the PSAL, and we're talking about the two-way right now.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, so to talk about this game, from my point of view, Eagle Queens had complete control of this game um, from the start. And shout out to the coaches, Coach Pierre and everybody. Oh, if she's looking at Max Preps.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, so one loss overall. Holy Cross was non-league. Um, Muncie, you stop being disrespectful, Muncie. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, so Eagle Queen, shout out to the coaches because they really had a game plan the whole way. And you could see it was like a tale of two halves. Like the first half, it was how fast they could go, you know what I'm saying, and how fast they could score. And the second one was all about the second half was all about controlling the game. And I respect that a lot. Um, when I look at football, honestly, when I look at sports in general, I really value being able to control if it's basketball, if it's sports, if it's cards and controlling the board, control is very important. And that was a very professional, efficient outing for Eagle Queens. You know what I'm saying? Do I think they could have scored more points? I think they could have scored more points if I'm being honest with you. But they were like, "Yo, let's bleed the clock. Let's control this game. Let's limit the amount of possessions so the Sharks are literally playing against the clock." You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I really value that. And to my guy Elijah, when I get the green light, I will I will post it on the social media. I don't have the green light as of now, but once I get that, I'll trust me, I'll make it public. All right. I did the 4A championship last year, so hopefully we can continue that. So yes, of course, shout out to Patah Severin, of course, and becoming the leading passer for Eagle Queens is definitely an honor, man. So hopefully they can put maybe like a wall of fame or put it somewhere. My guy E, honestly, E, I'm about to pull up on you, man. I'm about to pull up to this game. First round of the playoffs. Hayes versus Kellenberg. What am I gonna do, man? What am I gonna do, man? Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up on y'all, man. I think I'm gonna pull up to Columbia this weekend. Um, and like I said, Elijah, yes. Once I know, I'm gonna post it on the social media. Um, but yes, so you see him in the chat right now. Kyle Esso, man, 2 touchdowns, hit the reverse.
What number he
He
wore?
just took.
16?
So he wore 16. Yes, he
Yeah,
was number 16,
he's solid.
and he took that reverse and he said in the post game interview, he's like, "Yo, I know nobody could catch me, so I don't worry about cutting. I don't worry about nothing. It's
He's
just
fast.
gas, straight gas."
He's fast.
So shout out to you, man. Those two touchdowns. He had the first touchdown to open up the game, and the second touchdown to put it away. So shout out to Mr. Essel for sure. It's someone I'm excited to talk about, man. Kassir Wright, the freshman.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, I mentioned this on a podcast before. I don't know if you remember it, but I was looking through the passing, I was looking through the stats, and I was like, "Yo, guys, there's a freshman who is like top 10 in the PSAL in touchdowns." I was like, "Who the hell is this?" Like a freshman? Like no one. I heard no one talk about this.
He's solid, man.
And then on the big stage, Kassir Wright, 2 catches, 114 yards, and a touchdown. And the catches were brilliant, man. Over the shoulder.
Solid.
Shout out to Patah. Patah put it right where he needed to be. And to have that composure as a freshman on that kind of stage, undefeated, on the road, in the Shark Tank, that's tough. And one thing I want to say, man, shout out to the Eagle Queen supporters, man.
Yo,
Yo, they were super loud.
that's how I know that the program was already worked up for the game, man.
Yeah.
To have so many people like it wasn't even close. Like they kind of took over, like Sheep said. Like they were the majority in the crowd, and
Yeah. That
that's
was yeah.
crazy, man. Like that's I knew they were super worked up. Coaches is looking up at me during the game, telling me that's another one. Coach Pierre is saying that's another one, Mac. I'm like, yo, again, I had to shut up, man. Like I thought this game was going to be a lot closer than it was. I probably got to stop saying and don't
Stand on it, man. What you mean? Stand on it.
hold on. But this was Dre. This wasn't BTA, right? Excuse me.
No.
Was it?
No. There was never a doubt. There was never a doubt. There was never a doubt in this game.
Okay.
I don't want to, you know, I don't want to say BTA, but there was never a doubt.
Yeah, I don't.
If you watch the game, they had complete control of this game.
All right, so let's use that because and even Coach Legree, commented earlier. BTA is like 21 plus, which I don't know if I agree with that. I'm thinking more 15, 14 plus is kind of like maybe not, maybe not. After
No, it was a game where there was no doubt. It was like Eagle Queens was in complete control. If I went back and watched it, I would like to look at how many possessions were in that second half, honestly.
because it was 22-6 in the fourth with about I want to say 5 or 6 minutes left, and then Sheep said ran the kick return back. That's what made it 22-12.
Yeah, it was 22-6. Yeah.
Yeah, in Madden. That's a fact. In Madden, 21 skunk, you gotta pass the sticks. If that's so, all right. If we're stamping 21 as BTA, then all these kids need to stop saying BTA then, because it's not the case. Like, you know what I'm saying? You win by
Yeah, no, this is
that ain't BTA.
this was a very competitive football game for sure. Like I said, I feel like Eagle Queens had it under control. They pretty much did exactly what they wanted. I want to give a shout out to the Eagle Queens defense, and especially number 11, Kyle Holder. That's how you
Uh,
say it, right? Oh, Khalil. Is it Kyle or Khalil? Well, Mr. Holder. Let me call him Mr. Holder. Number 11, Mr. Holder. Huge shout out to him. because he was all over the field. You know, coaches told me, yes, you typing it doesn't help my pronunciation of it.
I think it's Khalil Holder.
It is Khalil. Okay, Khalil. Huge shout out to the defense, man, because guys, can you wait for the 3A? Come on now. Um, Huge shout out to Khalil and that defense. That defense was very, very fast. They
Right.
were swarming to the ball. You know, Ahmed says Cisse is a very good runner, and they pretty much shut him down
Yeah.
completely. They were flying to the ball all day long, and Mr. Holder was definitely at the pinnacle of that. So shout out to that. And you know, we'll see. And there's quite a few teams in the two-way that have something to say about this being a rematch. You know, shout out to Long Island City. They had a win over Campus Magnet. So
Mhm.
shout out to them. And of course, there's still Springfield, who they want to see their run back. So there's quite a few teams in the two-way, and even East Harlem Pride. East Harlem Pride played the Sharks very close. So
They did.
we'll see about the rematch. But to talk about the Sharks, of course it's
Mhm. Yo,
can we
that's
just not talk about the refs? We're
yo.
not going to
All
talk about it
right,
because
yo.
it's too frustrating. It's actually too
Nah,
frustrating. We cannot
seriously.
talk about
So
it.
some of the refs on that crew, I know for a fact they've been officiating games for more than 12 to 14 years. That, yeah, that they must have just trying to get that game out of the way. In the fourth quarter, I mean, it was late in the game. I don't think it would have made a difference in the game, thank God, because if it would have, that would have been a serious problem. But Sheepshead ran two plays, and it was kind of like some controversy going on. They was talking. They ran two plays, and then the ref said, "All right, turnover, Eagle ball." We like, yo, wait a second, what just happened? And then they weren't like they were trying to uh, fight the call, and it was like, nah, like we're not hearing it. Turnover. I'm like, damn, yeah, I've never seen
Ye-
officiating like that, man.
Yeah, like I said, listen, shout out to the officials. Even with us throwing a little bit of criticism to them, um, because we need you guys to have the games, right? You guys are very important, and we know it's not an easy job. But yeah, that I wasn't so sure what was going on. It definitely took out the whole flow of the game in that fourth quarter for sure. Guys in the chat, just a reminder: just talk to us, not to each other, if you don't mind. If you're gonna talk to each other, just like small talk. Um, So yeah, to talk about the Sharks, obviously it's a disappointing result when you lose a game of that magnitude at home. Um, then we gave the yes, shout out to the Eagle D line. Yes.
Yeah, Raheem. I
Joshua, if
definitely
you
want to shout out Raheem
yes,
Filber,
yes. Is that number 88? Is that number 88?
56. He played in the Lions
56. Yes,
Stars
yes,
Bowl,
yes.
man. Solid. That was good. Him and Elijah Thompson both played, and they both played well in that game. So shout out to them. I want to shout out Amari Britt. He plays defensive tackle. He
Yes.
said, "Yo, solid man,
Yes.
solid game. Just goes out there, does what you have to do, and kind of gets it done, man. He's not really talking too much. He's out there. He's playing. He's playing, trying to get things done. And Lyle made a good point about the two minute offense from Sheepshead at the end. When the refs called the turnover, it was a run play. And maybe that was setting something up for something later on down the line. But at that point, he was kind of, going against the clock. Um, but yeah, that even if they would have scored on that drive, it still wasn't enough time to, it was 22-12 at that point. So it would have still been hard to come back and get the win.
Yeah, and those 2-point conversions, man. Listen, shout out. What did I say, man? Actually, this is something I do want to talk about real quick. And I want to talk more about the Sharks. I keep getting distracted. Gentlemen, young men, there are not 2 sides of football. There are 3 sides of
Man,
football. Offense, defense, and special teams.
important. It's
You
important.
have to play 3 phases of football.
And it
If
shows.
you're for if you're fortunate enough, honestly, I didn't even do it as a player, but who cares about me as a player? It was ages ago. I understand going back there to catch the punt is nerve-wracking. It's probably one of the most nerve-wracking things to do in Muncie always puts something right as I'm talking. He knows I'm gonna laugh. Um, I I know it's nerve-wracking to go back there for this punt, all right? You don't want to be the scapegoat of the team if you muff the punt. You have to go back there with confidence and field the punt. If you want to be a championship team, you have to play 3 phases of the ball. I'm tired of seeing, and I'm not asking you to be Devin Hester. Mac, do they know who Devin Hester is?
They got to know who Devin has. That's a legend. That's a special teams legend. And he from you. They got to know who. They have to know who Devin Hester is.
Chat, do you guys know? And not Lyle, not Dave,
They
not
have
Erica.
to.
Do you guys know who Devin Hester is?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
All right. All right. Who? Okay.
If
Yeah,
not,
I
if
got
not,
nervous.
just
Got
you.
nervous.
Devin Hester. Like, come on, let's stop.
Okay. I'm not asking you to be Devin Hester, but please go field the punt, man. Field the punt. I'm tired of seeing the ball, you know, go 20 yards on the ground because the guy just watched it, bounce right in front of him. Just go field the punt, Dave. Dave is a freaking
Oh,
comedian to
yeah,
yo.
yeah,
I'm tired of seeing the ball just rolling on the floor, man. Just go field the punt.
yeah.
And somebody's got to be able to kick an extra point, man. Someone has to be able to go kick an extra point because we talk about this game. It ends 22-12, right? Chiefs had the ball, and if they had kicked the 2 extra points, there's a lot of drama in this game.
True. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
And it can't coaches everyone. Like if there's not a special teams coach, if you're not teaching someone to snap, hold, and kick it, please can we break the stereotype that the PSAL can't kick the ball? I know. Shout out to Curtis. Shout out to South Shore. I think
Word.
Ehall can kick as well. I'm
Pretty sure.
not sure if Lincoln can kick. Erica, you can tell me if I can Lincoln kick? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Lincoln can kick either. But please, can we break the stereotypes, especially when the Catholic League is out there kicking like 40-yard field goals? Like
Word.
it doesn't make any sense. Like why can't we kick field goals? Anyway, sorry, a little long-winded, but yes, um, South Shore, FJM, you guys are still in this. I know it's a hard loss. Jacob Reed, you are an absolute star. You're an absolute star. Mentality. He's all over the field, making tackles, sideline to sideline. Okay, shout out to the Eagle kicker. All right, chat. Shout out to the Eagle kicker. Lord of
I
mercy.
think Eagle did kick a field goal too. Extra point. Sorry. I think Eagle did kick an extra point in the game.
Okay. So shout out to the Eagle kicker. Right. Um, but yeah, Jacob Reed, man, on defense, sideline to sideline backer. When it wasn't working for Cisse, they put him at running back, and he's playing running back. And then they go down 22-6. You know, the balloon deflates. Everybody is deflated. Mr. Reed takes a kick back. House call.
Yeah.
Like I love that kind of stuff, man. Like I love players who keep playing, man. And he's only a junior. There's a lot of people competing to be in that Rise of Stars game. But Mr. Reed, you have some big games in the playoffs to get some film over to move the chains because you were. I was really impressed with Jacob Reed. How about you talk about him, man?
Yeah, nah, he played an amazing game. I didn't know defensively that he was like that.
Yeah,
Like you said, flying around, he made a ton of tackles, man. Every time you turn around, I look to the side, I hear you saying, and on the tackle, again, I don't have to look down. It's Jacob Reed. That was great to see, and then kind of gave them life with the kick return. I know it was kind of late in the game, but shit, a score is a score. Back in '79, I
Yeah.
wasn't playing football. I wasn't in high school '79, guy. Yeah, man, he was kind of giving them the spark. Even offensively, they gave him a couple carries, um, and he did what he had to do. Eagle played the run. They played the run so well. Like,
Yeah, they were teeing off, to be honest. They were really forcing DeHarris to throw. Um and he missed a few throws, but shout out to Elijah White. Elijah White was huge, catching the touchdown
yeah, it
at
was,
the end of the half.
yep. And that,
But
that
yeah,
was,
they were
that
teeing
was
off
a
on defense.
strategy
Yeah.
too from Eagle, basically saying, if you're gonna beat us, you got to beat us through the air.
Yeah.
Um, that was a great strategy, man. And offensively, Sheepshead had guys guys were open, like wide open sometimes, and just the ball was maybe overthrown or underthrown, like just missed opportunities, man. Those opportunities you really can't get back. But I would say, and I said it at the beginning of the season when I was referring to the championship game, um, it's hard to beat a team twice in one season. And I did say whoever won that Erasmus Tottenville game in the regular season, when it spins back around, and I'm not sure because Curtis is in the mix right now, but if it
That could
spins back
it could be a
around,
semi it could be a semifinal. It could be a
no,
semifinal matchup.
if it spins back around, and I mean, and the same goes with this. If this game happens to spin back around and these two meet again, it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season, man. It's tough. It's tough. So moving forward, I mean, Dre, after this week, we talking playoffs now. We are talking. Yo, you're right. You are right. You are right. No, and I'm not saying it can't happen. My guy Ken Roy, he graduated from Chief, said, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it's hard. It's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. It definitely can happen. It can. But it's a task, man. So this is going to be interesting seeing this game if it happens again on a bigger stage.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, 22-12, Eagle Queens, maybe the first round. Who knows? Like I said, shout out to Coach G and Long Island City. They haven't played either of these teams. They have a lower strength of schedule, but they're going to get their shot against this team. Springfield. Let me see. What was the score in the Springfield game when they played Eagle Queens? That score was 20-4. Okay, so that was a lopsided score. Very interesting that Eagle Queens plays at Springfield. That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So Springfield, they were, a play away from beating the Sharks. They played the Sharks, right? I'm not bugging them. Did they
Check.
not play FJM this year? Oh, I thought they played FJM. Oh,
Oh,
excuse me. Oh, excuse me. They didn't play FJM. Sorry, that was East Harlem Pride. So, who knows like how that quarterfinals or semifinals could go in this two-way division for sure. So I love that from the alum. Still has faith in his guys as you should,
yeah,
and
definitely,
just like they said, they're gonna fix the mistakes and they're gonna ready to spin back, man. So
definitely.
so yeah, so those were the final games in the game of the week series. I know a few people were asking where are we gonna be this weekend, and to be honest, I'm gonna take a little easy this weekend.
Well, you
We've
deserve it, man.
Matt, word to Mac. I've been working hard, man.
Yo, you
Friday
deserve it,
game,
man.
Saturday game, Sunday game. We're gonna live stream the Eagle game. Eagle versus McKee. We're gonna talk about that. It's a huge game. Might be a win and you're in game. for the playoffs. So we're gonna stream that on Friday, and then they're gonna take it easy. Like I said, I think I'm gonna try to show love to my guy, Coach E, Coach Ed. Go to the Hayes
Hayes game.
Kellenberg game just as a spectator, and just chill out. Playoffs coming. Um, so no, we're not covering the game of the week series is over. I know there's a lot of great games,
Yeah,
but
games happening, bro.
we're about to get into the 4A recap, and yes, we are going to look at the 4A seating because it could get real scary. It could get real crazy after this weekend. I'm not sure, Coach P. What you mean? What did I say? I'm not sure what you mean. So we're going into the 4A recap. So we're going to do this a little off the cuff. But the first place to start is in Canarsie, and that's Tottenville 31. I'm gonna have it under my Sage Media shirt, Coach. Um, Tottenville 31, Canarsie 12. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So let me get into the stats for this game because when I saw the highlights, shout out to everybody. I'm pretty sure Hidden Gems was at the game. Shout out to Hidden Gems. You guys been doing a lot of work, man.
Oh, seen them
I've
this
seen you
weekend.
guys everywhere. So shout
Yeah.
out to you guys. You guys are working hard for real. Um, Let me go to this game. So when I was seeing some of the highlights from this game, all I saw was Tyshawn scoring. That was the
Yeah.
highlights I saw.
Listen,
I saw McCracken score a touchdown, and I saw Tyshawn Bent scoring.
and listen, last week I did say if I'm Tottenville, I'm resting Corey Brown. Corey didn't play, still got the win. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying. Sorry, I made a face because I just saw. Wow, I'm looking at the numbers now. I don't think anyone from Tottenville is in the chat, but I'm seeing a different starting quarterback for Tottenville. It was
Oh, really?
Jordan Haddad.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find. Let me go to their roster. It's a little interesting, actually.
I
Let me
didn't know
see.
that.
So Jordan is a senior quarterback, number 16. I wonder if they rested Justin. I don't remember Justin getting hurt in the E-Hall game. So that could be something to watch. If anyone has any insight on that, I would like to know.
I think next season I'm gonna start an injury report. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, yeah.
yeah, I did say that as a fact. I
Yes.
did say that. Um, but yeah, that could definitely be a story to follow because I was really impressed with Justin, Mr. McGuire, in that game. But Tyshawn, he was looking a little hurt in the. Yeah, he even said he sprained his ankle leading up to the E-Hall game,
Yeah.
and 21 carries, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And let's go to his receiving stats: 3 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown. So 185 yards from scrimmage for Mr. Tyshawn Bent. Looks like he's okay, Mac.
Somebody put this highlight. He was like running, caught the ball like behind them on his
One-handed, yeah, it's
kept running.
crazy.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Man. That's crazy. But yeah, I think Tyshawn is good enough. I mean, as you can see, to play. And I think if I'm Tottenville, so this week Corey, I don't want to say he has to play, but it's Staten Island versus Staten Island. Yeah, so he might have to play, and then if they beat Curtis, that could shake things up as far as the playoff picture. Another shout out. I know this is kind of off topic. This Curtis versus Tottenville game. They're playing at some.
The Staten Island Yankee. Hold on,
Yeah,
let me find it. Let me not put
they're
out
playing at the Yankee
misinformation.
Stadium of Staten Island, wherever that is.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Hold on. Let me see it.
but another thing, yo, that's super dope for New York City football, man. To have that game at that venue. So dope, man. Yeah, wherever that is. It's Yankee Stadium of Staten Island. That's where they playing at.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
familiar. I've never been there. I'm actually going to try to make it out to that game. But just dope for New York City football, man. That's and this is a big game for both teams.
Yeah, man. I mean, Curtis Tottenville. All right, we'll wait because I do want to talk about that game because I think that's one of the most intriguing matchups of the whole year. Um, yeah, that post was from the Curtis Instagram. Um, that that is a game that I think if that game is played 10 times, I literally think Curtis will win 5 and Tottenville will play 5. Like I think that's how close the teams are. Seriously. And honestly, out of that top 4, you might be able to say that quite a bit about the top 4. Nappy will probably give maybe some predictions. I'm not at the game, so I don't mind giving a prediction on that game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Tyshawn Bent, 21 carries. I mean, that's just what Tyshawn does. To have a little fun, who had the performance of the season? Because I think it's down to 2 players realistically. I want to throw in a third, but it's almost a consolation. Like I want to throw in um homeboy from Curtis, number 3. Sorry, his name just slipped my mind.
You
Let
mean like the
me
best game or
like the best individual performance of the year. So you have there to me there are 2 options. Hold on, let me just go get this guy's name. Oh, Jared Sarate. Sorry, that just slipped my mind.
oh Jared?
So I
Yeah,
want to throw in Jared Sarate for that performance against E-Hall because not only was that history, he was incredible. But there are really 2 options, and it's between Rich Perkins from this weekend. Was it 236 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is crazy. And in my opinion, Tyshawn Bent versus Lincoln. And I was really thinking, like, what is the it's between those 2 games. Let me read off Tyshawn from that game.
that's a good
Give me 1 second. So it's one of the 2 of those. So Tyshawn in that game where Tottenville won 50-34. Tyshawn had 22 carries for 201 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he also had an interception for about a 60-yard
yeah,
touchdown return.
true.
He also had a sack, apparently.
Wow. Yes. It might come down to those 2. Yeah, I really want to put Solomon in the conversation, but yeah, nah, that's going to be hard to put Solomon in that conversation.
I'm just talking about for the performance of the year, just the performance of the
No, I know
year.
what you're saying. Yeah. I know.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Rich probably 4 touchdowns. I don't remember that ever happening in PSAL from a receiver. I could be wrong. 4 touchdowns in a game. He really had 5. They called one back. Ah, that's hard. Even for
But
Tyshawn, though.
Tyshawn had 4 touchdowns in his game too.
Yeah, no, but he played running back though.
All right, that's
So
fair. That's fair.
PSAL historically is a running league. You know what I'm saying? We're now kind of transitioning to where more teams are throwing the ball more, but historically PSAL is a run first league.
Yeah,
Um,
I can't front. Only 7 catches is kind of a little crazy. I can't front. That is a little crazy.
yeah, that's crazy. That's
What's that average? Get
yeah,
my calculator out.
that's a good. I mean, between the 2, I mean, being that Tyshawn had a sack and a pick, yeah, those are the 2 that's kind of up there right now. And he had a tackle. And he had a tackle.
Yeah, he did. He did play well. He did play well on defense as well. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I got to think about that. Yeah, maybe. I could make that a poll in the chat.
Oh, dope. Yeah, that'd be dope to see.
Let me make a poll in the chat.
Yes, it's Solomon. Solomon
Performance
against
of the season. Uh, Tyshawn Bent,
Solomon against Canarsie. I think Solomon got
200 plus 3 touchdowns,
Muncie is crazy.
1 INT touchdown. Rich Perkins. What do you have? 230?
Who?
230.
Oh, 234? Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think he has
234.
234.
Touchdown four.
Picks Rich got this year. Oh, I didn't know he had 3 picks. He's having a really really good season, man. 236. Yeah, 236.
Yes, I know we have some Vikings in the chat, but
Yeah, he's having a real good
you
season
know, try to be objective. Try to be objective. No, I mean those two players like let's all be honest. Those two players are up for a player of the year.
for sure.
You can have your pick on it. We're not I don't mean to pit the two against each other because they're just incredible talents. Um they're incredible talents for real. But yeah, that's what came to mind because in my head, Tyshawn definitely like that night against that competition was absolutely the best performance of the year. But then Rich just shook everything up with that performance. So I'll look back at that chat in a little bit. And as for Canarsie, I think it's a win and you're in scenario.
Yeah, so I thought Canarsie was totally out. Even if they don't make up that McKee game, I think if they win this week, they're in.
Yeah, because they're on three, right?
Yeah, they have 3 wins. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think four will get them in. So
Wait, they have,
you know,
they have 2 wins.
what do
Wait,
they have? Two wins. Let me look at this real quick. So they lost to Lincoln, lost to E Hall, lost to Curtis, beat Port Richmond, beat New Dorp. Oh,
yeah,
because they don't have the McKee game. Okay.
they got 2 wins.
And
Yeah.
let me see the power points. What are the power points? They're at 336. What's crazy? So what's really crazy, let me jump to this result. Madison 22, Clinton 12. That actually puts Madison at 3 wins on the season.
Yo, now that I'm looking at it, man, that's this is crazy. Yeah, Canarsie.
That is Hold on. I just want to give a huge shout out to James Madison because obviously, that program has been through a lot this season. And for them to get 3 wins, a win over Utrecht, a win over Midwood, and a win over Clinton, I mean, that's very impressive for them. They have a really tough game against JFK. Wow, yo, Mac, if they are able to upset JFK, of course, they're big underdogs in that game. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
Who, Madison? Yeah, this is
Madison,
crazy, man.
because okay, here all if we look at the playoffs a little bit, maybe so Eagle versus McKee is essentially going to be a win in your end game.
So it sucks for Canarsie. So Canarsie needs Eagle to beat McKee in order for them to get in.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. You're so right.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that scenario. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Curtis, E Hall, no specific order. Curtis, E Hall, Tottenville, Lincoln, South Shore, JFK. So that's six. So there's two spots available.
well, I think
Eagle is 4-3. McKee. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me share my screen. Actually, sorry
no
about that.
Eagles.
I know I can do that.
Eagle is in, no matter what. No
How
matter
can
what.
Eagle be in no matter what?
Um, because they play Staten Island McKee. So if McKee does win, Eagle would just go to 8 and McKee will go to 7. Um, yeah, and then
Actually, let me just make this full screen for a second.
oh, this is good.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, if McKee, it don't matter. If Eagle lose, they'll go to 8. McKee will go to 7, and then yeah, that's it. But if Eagle wins, then McKee and Canarsie will have the same amount of wins, and I think Canarsie will have more power points, which would get them in. And if they get in, they'll be like the 6th seed or something like that. because
No, they'll be the 5. They'll be the 5.
5, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Damn, this is
but hold on. This is actually is crazy though because if Madison win, I think they're in. Because if they beat JFK, that'd be a lot of
oh yes.
power
I mean,
points.
in that scenario, I mean, no, I mean, listen, all right. If that scenario, yes. I don't really, and no, nothing against Madison. I don't know if they have the manpower to win that game, but yes, if Madison wins, they're they're in, which would be crazy. That'd be a crazy.
Shout out to my guy Lindor, man, yo, and shout out to Madison. Seriously, man, for real. Like when I looked at this, I didn't even realize, like, yo, Madison can get into the playoffs despite how much they've been through this year. So that is a huge credit to everything in that building, for real.
Yeah, man.
The players on the field. Um, Muncie, listen, you can't be you gotta hold the L, man. I can't lie.
But
Y'all could have shook it up, but y'all couldn't get it done. So you gotta hold the L. But wow. So okay. So let's see. Who does Wagner? No, is out, right? Who does Wagner play this week?
Wagner plays Canarsie.
Oh, okay, that's the game. So Wagner Canarsie. Is there any scenario Wagner? No, Wagner's gonna be on 3. So no, Wagner is. I think Wagner's out, right? Because even
Wagner,
if Eagle lose, yeah, even if Eagle lose, yeah, there's no way Wagner can get in. Because if
well,
Eagle
no, if
lose
Wagner,
and
if
McKee,
Wagner beats Canarsie, then they're in. I just and that's me saying I'm saying that because I don't know if Madison is going to beat JFK. If Madison beats JFK, then everything I'm saying is out the window. But I'm just
wow, this is. And by the way, let me come back on the screen here for a second. Listen, there's some people in the chat, and I don't forget you because I got receipts too. Y'all were saying, oh, there's some people like, oh, this needs to be a 5A. There needs to be 8 teams in the league. Yo, stop being so disrespectful. The league is more than E Hall and Tottenville.
oh
This is an awesome. I think the PSAL. Listen, we all come down on the PSAL when they do stuff wrong. I think we need to give them credit when they do stuff right. I love the competitiveness of this league from top to bottom. What we're discussing right now is awesome, and we don't have this discussion if there are only 8 teams in the league.
yeah,
So, and then you talk about and let's go back to this. You talk about, oh, we want more competitive games. Um, if there are 8 teams in this league, we're still going to see BTA quite a few times. Like there are 2 teams without a win right now, right? If
yeah,
there are 8 teams in this league, there's probably still going to be 2 teams without a win, right? Like realistically, or maybe there'll just be 1 team without a win. But like, let's be real.
yeah. This
So
is so this week is really going to tell some things. Also, I really want to see if the PSAL allows Canarsie to play 2 games in a week. It's guys in the chat that's older than me. Let me know if you have seen that in the PSAL. I mean, I know this is like kind of a rare thing, but have you ever seen a school play 2 games in one week? I've
yeah,
seen that.
yeah, that's just I don't know if that's going to happen, man. They might just say forget it. Um, which is going to be tough. So yes, Uh, Coach, you're saying going from 2 to 5 to 6 on PowerPoints is wild.
Yeah,
No, I mean no, you have to. I mean that does make sense. You have to credit the teams who played the harder strength of schedule, right? So I do think
yes
it
and
makes
no,
sense.
because so my thing is that I'm not sure how. So PSL, the higher ups, I don't know if they actually pay pay close attention to um, the game, the teams, what's going on. I think they kind of just go off what happened last season and then boom, just put the PowerPoints in. So I'm not a big fan of the PowerPoint, you know, yeah, I don't. I understand it has to be a system and it has to be done like that, but if you're 7-0 and you're two in standings, and then when the playoffs come, you drop to 5 or 6. That's crazy. I understand the strength of schedule, but that school didn't pick their schedule. You gave it to them. So, and then you're kind of penalizing that school for the schedule you gave them, which is crazy. But this is a system they've been rocking with for a minute now. So, who am I to say that it's flawed?
I mean, South Shore also kind of like shook everything up, right? You have a team coming all the way from the 2A.
That
I'm
was
not sure how precedented that is. So, some people might say, "Oh my God, you just threw a team from the 2A and you make them play E-Hall." Like,
that was rare.
so
You're right.
what I'm saying? Scheduling is hard, right? Like, did anyone foresee South Shore? As I have all these South Shore guys in the chat. See, no, you guys can quote me or put me on whatever win cam. But did anyone really think South Shore would do this? Would do this? I mean,
Yo,
yes,
this is what
you did.
I
Yes, you
called
did.
it.
You did. You did.
I
You
called
did.
it.
I put my hands up.
And this is what I'm saying. If there was somebody from the PSA or higher ups that was paying attention to what's going on, not saying this is not college football where we have somebody reporting, oh, transfer portal, oh, this kid just left here. God did. Yeah.
He almost made me spit my tea out. That timing was perfect.
Yo, like if you was paying attention in the off season of what was happening over there, like like you got to pay attention to what's going on. And when
Oh my God.
and I seen South Shore schedule and I seen what they just did in the previous offseason, I called it. As soon as we came on here for the first episode, I said, all right, South Shore is going to go undefeated for their regular schedule. And that's what's pretty much happening right now.
Mac, word to Monty though. Monty did send me a clip of you saying Midwood was gonna make the playoffs. No lie. I don't know where that clip is from. So this is what you were wearing that day, but I gotta I know that my light is there. You had a hat on. Oh damn, you can't
Oh
really see it.
yeah. Oh yeah, I was definitely off the E&J that night. Yeah. Yeah, don't even worry about that. Yeah. Munchie, don't worry about that. That was a wild night. Don't worry about that. I'm good now. I'm good now. Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Oh my God, yo, we gotta keep it pushing after that, man. So PSL playoffs, crazy. Oh man. Yo, so where should we even go? Oh yes, real quick, let's go to Lincoln 44-6 over New Dorp. Listen, I don't like to say it, but listen, I watched this one. Now this is the definition of BTA. Like I can't lie. Respect to New Dorp and John Rose. I do think John Rose is a really good player, the quarterback,
Okay.
For New Dorp. But whoa, like I don't know if you got a chance to see this game. Yo, it got ugly like extra fast. Like
Yeah, Lincoln
Solomon
offense
was
was legit.
on one. Solomon was moving. Solomon was moving spooky that night. Let me come pull up Solomon's stats because, like I said, I was like, man, like Rich Perkins, like definitely the number one wide receiver. That's what I was thinking. I'm gonna have to reverse my statement when I come back. How about Solomon? So he had 4 catches, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, he almost returned a kick for a touchdown. He was literally like 5 yards away from returning a kick, punt 7, like about 65 yards for a touchdown. And he also threw for a touchdown. By the way, this is in one half of football because the score was about 38-0, like at halftime.
Damn.
Like, like expeditiously packed them up. Like that is like I said, I don't you know me, I don't usually the way Lincoln was on one that night. And Lincoln is I think they're trending in the right direction for
Can I make a
sure.
can I make a wild
They
can I make a wild prediction? Speaking of Lincoln,
sure.
Lincoln plays Erasmus this Saturday. I
Yes,
believe.
they do. Yes, they
Um,
do.
I'm thinking honestly, I want to say 2012 final score. Take it how you want it. I'm not calling a winner or a loser. 2012 final score this Saturday. Not
Nasty.
not calling.
Nasty. Like, be careful. Be careful.
I'm not calling a winner or a loser. Final score 2012. Let's go the opposite. Nah, I'm not. Listen, this time I'm not calling a winner though. Final score 2012. Um, take it how you want it. That's the final score. The game will be 75, 74. Yo, nah. Yeah. Definitely 2012. Um,
I do have to say though,
mhm.
I need to see. I'm a little concerned. I did not like what I saw from the Lincoln offensive line against Curtis. They definitely had Corey running for his life in that game. I do think, and I wanted to say this. I wanted to say this during the Curtis week. I forgot to say it, but I think that excuse me, Lincoln definitely need to work on um, their short passing game. It seems like everything is intermediate or deep down the field. And they ran a few more screens this week. Solomon took a couple of screens for quite a few yards. But especially when you play the teams, especially if you're having trouble protecting, I definitely would like to see Lincoln work more on their short passing game for sure. Their deep and intermediate passing game is excellent. But that Curtis game, they couldn't block anyone in that Curtis game. And obviously you got them boys from E Hall coming to town, and
That
I'm
game
not
is
sure the
Friday, right?
last
Right?
time it is Friday. And I'm looking back in PSAL. I'm actually well, obviously no one's beaten E Hall in years. So this has been a really tough matchup for Lincoln, home or away. But this is one of the games I spoke with O'Connor about,
Yeah.
and it's just a E Hall Lincoln is always just a special uh matchup for New York City for sure, man.
Yeah, Dre,
Um,
I don't understand how people think I have some kind of alliance towards Lincoln. It's I don't understand. I'm just saying. I predicted the game. I predicted the score. Not going with a winner. I just predicted the score, and I'll let you guys, chop that up. And after Friday night, we kind of see what's going on. Um,
yeah, it's gonna take quite the effort from Lincoln for sure.
sure.
Of course, everybody in the league knows how good Solomon is, so they're probably the shade of safety over that side. But they got Brandon Blue, they got Ja'Kai Paul,
Right.
they got my guy, they got my guy Cayenne Filbert. So they're gonna have to be creative, and we'll see. And if Lincoln's able to get this win, um, it really shakes everything up.
It does. It does.
So that is a crazy matchup for this weekend. But yeah, shout out to Lincoln. I mean, I just looked at it. They scored in the first quarter of this Newdorp game. They scored 24 points.
Wow.
Like that's insane. Well, wait, hold on. How many points did the South Shore score in the first quarter? Hold on. Hopefully that's updated. What was the score at half? It was 30 something. Hold on. Let's see. South Shore scored. Oh yeah, South Shore only scored 14 in the first quarter. So yeah, 24 in the first quarter is crazy. Like that's like really crazy. Um, so shout out to Lincoln. Let's see. Let's move on to yes, the next really big matchup. Like I said, there's pretty much a win in your in scenario uh for the 4A, and that is Eagle and McKee. Eagle 37-6 over Utrecht. Obviously, that 37 number is very important for Eagle Academy. No matter who they're playing, they've been struggling to score points, and I feel like Eagle Academy definitely had a look in the mirror after they saw the boys from the Flatlands. You know, I definitely think they had a look in the mirror, and there was a lot of intensity, even in the game where they're highly favored. A lot of intensity, flying around, hitting people. They've made some adjustments. Excuse me. They've made some major adjustments on offense. I can't call them minor adjustments. They made some major adjustments on offense. Shout out to Cody Williams, the quarterback. Had a really good game. Let's see who else. Shout out to Travis. Travis, he might end up on some list. I think he deserves to end up maybe like a third team list if they have three teams. Maybe sneak on a second team, but maybe like a third team all city list. Interception return for a touchdown. Returns a punt for a touchdown. So that was tremendous from him. Shout out to Jaleo Tang. Jaleo had a great touchdown. It was a crackback toss to the left, crosses the entire field, and runs about a 50-yard touchdown. So there was a lot of creativity in the Eagle Academy offense, and it's a real boost for them. They really needed that win. So shout out to Eagle 37-6 over Utrecht. Anything on this game real quick, Mac?
Listen, man, Eagle was supposed to win this game. No disrespect to Utrecht.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Eagle was supposed to take care of business this game. If the outcome was any different, um, in the words of my man Muncie, yeah, Dre, you got to retire, bro. Like, yeah, like come on, yeah. Like Eagle did what they were supposed to do. Utrecht is trying to rebuild, trying to put some things together. Eagle they have to win those kind of games. And if they go into the playoffs, hopefully, if they made some moves offensively, they got to stick with those moves and do that against halfway decent teams. Like you can't really beat up on a lower team and then start beating your chest. Um, you got to do
I mean, but I will say even to that point though, even against wow, you're
it.
funny. Even against a James Madison, I mean, James Madison might not even be a lower team at this point, but they only scored 14 points on a struggling James Madison team. And of course, they lost the game to Wagner on the road. So it was definitely, even though yes, it was against a lower opponent, I think it was a really big night for Eagle Academy and everybody. Uh, McKee, Munty, you are called to the stand. Don't
Yo,
duck, don't duck no smoke, Munty. You were called to the stand, Munty.
come on.
36-16 McKee over Midwood. Let me take a look at the stats for this game.
Really? Yo, I didn't know that, Muncie. Damn, I gotta text
What,
him in the morning, man.
hold on, I'm not looking at I'm trying to get to the stats. Let me see what I missed.
Damn. All right. Yeah. Nah, wow. So I heard they're not running the 44C blast no more. They got the spread RPO kind of system going on. So, we're gonna see what's going on with Eagle moving forward, man. I think they're done with the I
Hmm.
formation. I think they kind of moved past that.
Okay, yeah. So I'm seeing that Midwood.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. Okay, that's tough. But no, it's a big win for Staten Island McKee coming over the bridge and getting the win. If I take a look at their stats, ooh, Sin K Thomas, 14 rushes, 157 yards, and a touchdown. Sin K, this is number two. Oh, it's number six. I know Sin K's been having a good year. I've mentioned him quite a few times on the show. So shout out to Sin K. We're gonna see him. We're gonna see him Friday night on Sage Media. 14 rushes for 157 yards is great. Seeing David Knight, 7 rushes for 75 yards and a touchdown, and Rafael Guerrero also with 2 touchdowns. So they did all their damage on the ground. So when I think about this, and Muncie, maybe you guys can give us some insight, but when I think about the McKee Eagle Brooklyn matchup, um, Eagle their defenses, if you look at their defensive numbers, obviously JFK and South Shore, they didn't show like the whole team didn't have a good game against those teams. But other than JFK South Shore, the defense have really put up good numbers. So, you know, it's an intriguing matchup with McKee coming over. Of course, they're going to be desperate. Eagle Academy is going to be desperate as well to get into the playoffs. Both
Sure.
teams. I don't want to disrespect McKee because I don't know their history. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe it's both of their first time getting into the playoffs in the top division.
I can see that. Yeah, I'm not 100%
Yes.
sure, but I can see that.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm disrespecting McKee, but it's going to be two teams definitely desperate to win. But if McKee comes out with a run heavy offense, I think that does help Eagle Brooklyn. Eagle has been very solid at stopping the run this year outside of that JFK game. But Sinke and number 2, let me shout out number 2 on McKee because he's been having a great year as well. Let me find him on the roster. Where is he? Oh, right here. Daniel Mosley. Shout out to Daniel Mosley. Him and Sinke have really been carrying the brunt of the offense for Staten Island McKee. So that's gonna be a do or die game. Winner is gonna be in the playoffs. Carla James saying shout out to Eagle. For sure. Definitely showing love. And like I said, I think definitely tune in Friday night to Sage Media because I think both of those teams are going to be desperate for a win. Yes, shout out to Sean Henry and Amadi Laurie. Yes, shout out to both of those guys. Sean is only a junior, I'm pretty sure, right? He caught a long pass on like a 3rd and 15, and Amadi also scored a touchdown on a reverse play. So shout out to them. But yeah, it's do or die. What do you think about this matchup, the Key Eagle
Yeah,
matchup?
I mean, this is going to be a good test for Eagle to see where they're at. Not saying that last week wasn't a good test, but this will be like a more better test. I see McKee over the summer come to Jersey, and they had a game scrimmage versus Boundbrook, and they look pretty good. Boundbrook is like a group 2, group 3 school. And they look good against Brownbrook. Handle their own. Um, Got to see what Eagle could. Eagle can't take. I keep doing this. Eagle can't take one of those losses like what happened with Wagner though.
I mean, you're talking about test. I mean, I think we're far beyond test, man. This is do or die. There's no test. You scrap if it's what is it? 4-4C. What do y'all keep putting in the chat? 4-4C, 4-4D blast, whatever y'all talking about.
He
You
changed
you
the
you
whole
you
offense. Yeah,
you scrap
yeah,
you scrap to win this game, whatever you need to win.
yeah. Shout out to Coach Leahy, man. Coach at Midwood when I was there was my JV head coach. Now he's at McKee. Um, yeah. So I think McKee is gonna come out and they're gonna be scrappy. And they're gonna be like a easy game for Eagle. And I know Eagle doesn't expect it to be an easy game because this, like you said, this is like kind of a win and you're in type of situation.
Yeah, so like I said, Friday night on Sage Media, definitely tune into that. Um, the last 2 games I guess I'll take a peek at the stats, but uh E Hall 59 nothing over Wagner and
Stop
Curtis 48-8 over Port Richmond.
it.
I mean, I'll take a peek at the stats, but I don't think there's much to say about these 2 games.
It's not.
Definitely expected. Um, well, real quick, actually, I actually want to start with the Curtis Port Richmond game because I want to give a shout out to hold on. Who am I on? I'm on E Hall. Didn't you all play Port Richmond? Yes, they did. Okay. Let me see the stats for Kasim Cromwell. I mean, even in this game, Kasim Cromwell, 14 rushes, 98 yards, and a touchdown. It says his I guess it was a 65-yard touchdown. I want to give a huge shout out to number 4, Kasim Cromwell, because I think he might deserve to end up on an all-city list. He's been having a tremendous season despite being on, a team that's been struggling. So
Number
shout
four,
out to Kasim Cromwell.
four from Port Richmond, right?
Scored the say it again, Mac.
That's number 4 from Port Richmond.
Yeah, number 4 from Port Richmond.
Yeah, he's solid.
But of course Curtis came away with the victory. Uh, let's see. Nicholas Mazakis, 9 rushes, 100. Oh Lord. Nicholas Mazakis, which is number 44 on Curtis,
Oh, that's it.
9 rushes, 100.
Yeah,
Say it again.
he's good. Number 44. We spoke about him
Yeah.
when they play Eho. Yeah, he's solid.
Yo, you ready for this stat line? 9 rushes, 155 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Woo! Solid, man. Hold on. The Quadir Gomez didn't play.
Let's see.
Those kind of.
I don't have him. Yeah, he's not on the stats.
Play. Yeah, he probably didn't play. Wow.
Yeah, so big day on the ground for Curtis and E Hall, 49-0 over Wagner. Let me find E Hall. Let's see if anything jumps out from the stats. Justice Murray, 3 passes, 3 passing touchdowns. Can do 2 passing touchdowns.
Solid.
Quite a few different people with rushing touchdowns. Let me see receiving. Lyric Samuel, 3 catches, 52 yards for a touchdown.
Oh, solid. Solid. Oh.
That's kind of interesting. Not a lot of yards for E Hall, despite 4 touchdowns through the air, or 5 touchdowns through the air, which is pretty interesting. But rushing wise for E Hall, no huge numbers, but Jaden White, 3 rushes, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jair Lewis, 4 rushes, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Logan Clark Laurent, which I think is the freshman.
Yeah, he
Pretty
is.
confident this is the
Wow.
freshman.
Yeah, he is.
2 rushes, 79 yards, and a touchdown.
Hey, yeah, Logan. Yeah, Logan.
So shout out. So shout out. I just look back in the chat. Shout out to E Hall for the big win. Yes. Shout out to the Eagle offensive line.
Yeah, shout out to the
But
Twins.
just like Max said, y'all did what y'all was supposed to do.
Yeah,
So
sure.
go get the win. Yeah, y'all want us to talk about you? Go get the win against McKee. Um, and I don't underestimated. I mean, we showed you the love. I'm giving you guys a lot of credit. Like when I saw you guys with a big win over DeWitt Clinton. Um, so hey, if you guys can go to the Bronx and get a win, man, you're in the playoffs. And again, that would. Well, I guess it would depend. Whatever. We're not getting back into that. I know it's late, and we're probably gonna wrap up real soon. Real quick, just to go over to 3A. I'm sorry that it's pretty late. It's gone on long, so we're gonna just go over to 3A real quick. Fort Ham 36-0 over FDR. This was a really good game. 28-20 Lane over Dozo. So Dozo, I think Dozo might make the playoffs. I'll take a look, but
What's the score? 28 what?
28-20 Lane over Cardozo.
Oh, those will play all right.
I think Cardozo had a slow start to the season, but they've been playing really, really good. They beat Lehman a few weeks ago. But I think with that loss, Cardozo will most likely not make the playoffs. but 28-20, they lose to Lane. They beat Lehman the other day. They only lost to boys and girls 16-14. So Cardozo kind of getting hot late, but looks like they're going to miss the playoffs. But that's a great win for Lane.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
sets up a really, really nice game, Lane versus Fort Hamilton this weekend. So that game is going to be exciting.
APR plays both
Um,
girls.
APR 25 nothing over Boys High. Shout out to my guys at APR. I saw all of them at the JFK game. It was nice chopping it up with y'all.
Word. Yep.
Um, and Brooklyn Tech 28-7 over Bayside. That sets up APR versus Brooklyn Tech this weekend.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I'm gonna need someone to have eyes on that game. I need to see that.
That's Saturday.
I need to see that game. Yeah, I don't know who, but somebody send me some tape, man.
Wow. Wow.
Yo, this ain't that you're not listening, this one's kind of fun.
I love the 3A, man. I love
Yo,
the,
chill out on the 3A. I
I love
actually
the
want to go
3A.
back to this real quick because just like the 4A, the 3A playoffs are kind of crazy too. If we take a look at the seeding, of course, Truman, just like South Shore, Truman will drop down. Truman 42-6 over Flushing. And listen to this, Lehman 22-18 over John Jay. So that was a really close game. So that's going to set up the Battle of the North this weekend. Lehman versus Truman. This is hilarious.
Oh, so this
You
week's
guys are killing me in the chat, bro. Um, so if you look at this, I mean, it's all to play for. I have absolutely no clue how they're going to decide who's going to be the one seed in this bracket because Fort Hamilton plays Lane. So I guess that will sort itself out.
yeah,
But then APR plays Brooklyn Tech. So okay. So I guess the winner of those two games are the top two seeds,
yeah.
so they get home field advantage for the rest of the playoffs. And then where does that put everybody else, though? Where does that put the losers? I mean,
Well, Truman drops
this
though.
yeah. Truman's gonna drop no matter what. Lehman and Truman are essentially playing for musical chairs in playoff position. So if I look at this, so no order, it's gonna be number one, Fort Ham. Let's see, Fort Ham, APR, Lane, Brooklyn Tech. So that's four. And it looks like Truman and Lehman are going to be playing for the 5 seed. Am I missing anything? No, I don't think I'm missing anything. Yes. So Truman and Lehman are playing for the 5 seed this weekend. So that's going to be the 5-6 seed. And then it looks like Stuyvesant and then
Williams.
Bryant or John Jay are going to be the 8.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be that's really exciting for the 3A. I mean, like we said, man, the 3A playoffs are going to be fire. Definitely tuning into that. Um, Mac, it's late. I know we didn't really get a chance to do your rankings. Uh, you want to save it or you want to do it?
We can run through it real quick. We can run through it real quick. I know the people we haven't did it in like 2 weeks. And it's pretty. I think it's pretty. Everybody would agree with the rankings now. The rankings
All
probably.
right, so let's see the best way to do this. I'm just gonna do this and then not really it's not gonna look good, but whatever. We need some kind of visualization for it, so I'm just gonna do a Word document, honestly. I'm just gonna do a blank Word document. Hold on a second. Number 1,
We can.
2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. make this super big. All right, let me share my screen. Oh, I have to share a different screen. Hold on. Screen. Whoops. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Screen. Why does it keep sharing only this screen? Hmm. Oh, I think maybe do I have to do this? Sorry about that, guys. Give me a second. But why does it keep picking this screen? Okay, I know what to do. Sorry.
Hey, okay. Oh, sure.
You can see this. You guys can see me typing on the Word. You can see me typing on the Word doc now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yo, Control Alt Delete is crazy. All right, we can go from 10 up real quick, man.
Yeah. How's it look? Okay, yeah, it looks fine. All
Um,
right.
so at ten, I have Fort Hamilton. At 9, I have Randolph. At 8, crazy 8. At 8, I have Franklin K. Lane.
All right. So let's pause there for a second.
Yeah, got to put some respect on Lane now. Put a little respect on him.
Is this their first time in the rankings?
Definitely, they went from whatever off the rankings to 8. 8. You know,
Hold on a second. Listen, Bunty,
what's he crazy?
slow down. All right. Just because it's not a TYJ graphic, all right?
I mean, Hector,
We're doing
listen,
it old school.
listen, man. I mean, beating APR, they had to be on the list. I couldn't still put APR over Lane because head to head, Lane beat APR. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of is what it is. You know, still a lot of football to be played. At 7, we have JFK.
Hmm. This is the lowest they've been all season, no?
The lowest they've been all season. It's the lowest they've been all season. Um, at
Wait,
6.
before we go forward, hold on. Of course, I have to ask a question. So
Mhm.
before we go forward, no Eagle, no McKee.
No,
Two teams fighting for the 4A playoffs.
no, no. I don't do rankings by division. Um, because if that was the case, then it would be all 4A teams. I think that 3A schools. I don't want and I'm not here to put any program down, but I think there's 3A schools that can beat plenty of 4A schools. Like I know for a fact, definitely 3 to 4 3A schools would beat 4A programs. So it's not about the division. The divisions kind of go on the coaching staff at their respective school. Um, they have the chance to go up. Some teams want to. Nah, I can't name them. I don't want to be disrespectful.
That's not that.
I don't want to be disrespectful to no programs. And it's not just disrespect. I think 3A has decent football, and I think that some 3A schools, if given a chance to go head to head, they'll beat some 4A schools. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the coaching staff at those programs, they want to kind of build in the 3A, and hopefully eventually they'll move up to the 4, and we'll have a situation there. But it's not about fighting for the playoffs. Earlier I said we have a big 6 and 8 teams make the playoffs. So just because you're making the 4A playoffs does not mean that you're better than one of the top 3A teams.
All right, so I just looked at your list. I didn't. This is my first time looking at your list. So, let's get to 6 and 5, and let's do
Right.
it now. And let's put our helmets on.
All right. So at 6, respectfully, And
hold on a second. Hold on. Let me grab my helmet. All right, here we
and
go.
listen, at 6, and I think we all can agree, and I think we all can agree here. At 6, I have South Shore, only because at 5, I have Canarsie. When they play head to head, I couldn't put South Shore over Canarsie because when they play head to head, Canarsie came out victorious. Um, I could be wrong. I could be wrong right
All
now.
right.
Talk to me.
We definitely have to pause here, right? Of course. I forgot that we had this poll, which is 75% Rich Perkins over how many votes were in this? 44 votes, so 75% Rich
Monty,
Perkins over
Monty, we
Ty Jones.
always crazy. Yo, lies funny, yo. Yo.
So I think we kind of already I always love when people bring up the BCS rankings. It's so funny to me. Listen, I disagree on this one. Again, I know I'm playing a bit of theoretical football, and again, your logic is more solid than my logic, honestly, right? The head to head, we saw it, right? So I mean, I don't, you can't argue that logic.
Yeah, it's tough,
Um,
man. It's tough.
and my logic is more theoretical. I've seen, how both teams have been playing, how both teams have been trending. I
I agree.
think, Canarsie is still playing at a high level, but
Agreed.
I just see the level that South Shore is playing. So again, it's theoretical football, but I would have South Shore over Canarsie. Um, but my list would look a little different as well.
If I could have
I
put, if
probably
I could have put maybe a 5A, 5B, I would have. I would have. But when you go head to head and that team takes care of business, it's hard for me to put that program over the other program. And not to say I think South Shore is playing like great level football. I don't think this is the same South Shore. Like I said earlier in the show, I don't think this is the same South Shore that played against Canarsie. If that game was to happen again, maybe a different outcome. Maybe a different outcome. Who knows? But right now, this is where I have to kind of keep it.
but by the way, real quick, I just want to say, Halo Mac, let's put ourselves full screen. Let's just wave hi to the South Shore win cam. Let's wave to it.
Nah,
Because
listen.
they're gonna put us somewhere right here.
Well, I had to post that meme, but I was getting cooked. Yeah, like yeah. I was getting cooked. Yeah, I'm done. Listen, I'm done with South Shore. Like, yeah. They're and this is not like no kind of shade to South Shore. Like I said, if I could have put a 5A and 5B, that's what I would have. That's what I would have put. Um, but as far as the level of football, you know, can't really call it. At 4, I had Lincoln. I believe, yeah, I had Lincoln. It's crazy. At 3, I got Tottenville.
Ooh.
I know, and that kind of I was again head to head. You know what I'm saying? At 2, we got Erasmus, and at 1 we got Curtis.
No, I'm not. I don't know why that just tabbed over, but
Yeah,
I'm not so mad at whatever. I don't know why that tabbed over. It looks ugly now, but I don't think it ever looked good.
OD.
um,
We got
but yeah, I'm not so mad at that. Same record. They went on the road to win. I mean, I don't really think you can argue much with this top four, to be honest with you. Um, I think I can't just let my guy go out on the ledge by himself. I think if it was me, top four would be the same. I would flip South Shore and Canarsie. I would leave JFK where they're at. Uh, I would. Can I have Eagle slash McKee at 8? Like whoever wins that game. Yeah, I'd have Eagle slash McKee at 8.
Eagle lost to Wagner. I'm see you make me do some nasty things on here. Eagle lost to Wagner. How you putting them at 8? All right, that was salacious. Moving on. We don't have to. We're not gonna. No, that was wild salacious. We're not talking about that.
Yo,
'Cause
yo,
you
listen.
make me look
I no, hold on. No,
crazy.
I'll stand on it. Hold on, I'll stand on it.
No, this is
No,
bad.
I would still put Eagle slash McKee at 8. I do believe that both of those teams are better than the 3A teams. I'm not necessarily saying, oh, just because you're 4A, you're automatically better than a 3A team. But I do think that the physicality that both teams have shown would make a huge difference in that game. So yes, I would have Eagle slash McKee at 8, and then probably the top two teams. I would probably have. Ooh, that's tough. If I have to pick two out of those three teams that I'm looking at right now, I probably have to say Franklin K. Lane APR right now.
All right. So back in the days, before we get out of here, we're rolling on 3 hours right now.
Yeah.
Back in the days, they had the Metro Bowl where PSAL played private school. I think it was the champions from the PSAL played the champions from the private school. This year, I'm gonna try to set up right after the playoffs championships. I'm gonna try to set up some 3A schools versus 4A schools. All right, I'm gonna try to call some coaches and I'm about to hit my man Perlo in a second and see if he wants. Perlo's always down to line it up. So yeah. And then we can try to work something out. Just I don't like the. Nah, I gotta respect programs. I just don't like. You know what I'm saying? I gotta respect programs. Maybe we'll respect Brooklyn Tech.
Like I said, I still, is everybody clearing out? That's funny. But that's I've been consistent with that all year long. I think that one of those teams making the 4A playoffs is a tremendous achievement for both of those teams. Yes, I do think the physicality that they're playing at is at a different level. So I got to stand on that. I don't think there's obviously no way to prove it. See, Legree, you started that. I love that. Line it up though. I love that. And Legree, I did elaborate. I did elaborate on why I would pick I would have Eagle or McKee over the 3A teams. So yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. Still 58 people in here.
Or that's great.
Mac, look at this one. Look at this one, Mac.
APR first top, bro. Monty, stop, man. I'm talking about good games. Good games, Monty. I want to see some good games going on. Not no, you know what I'm saying? Respect to my man Perlo. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make some calls, man, and see if these guys want to play a little 3A versus 4A ball.
Yeah, man. So again, there's no. I guess I'll throw the graphic up. Probably this is probably the last time I'll throw this graphic up here. I guess tonight's kind of the celebration for it. Long show. I don't even know how the show ended up being so long. Honestly, with just me and you, with no Jared.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're right.
That's really crazy. I don't know how this ended up being so long, but we peaked this year. Am I fake? I hope I'm not fake creating like a Eagle APR rivalry somehow.
Oh, no, that was created 3 weeks ago when Coach Jones came in here and said we will not lose to no 3A school. That shit was been created.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. So, maybe we'll see that game in the future somehow. But again, just a huge appreciation. I mean, we saw 57 people in this chat. I saw it peak at 115, so that's a new record for today.
Yeah, 119. We had
No,
119.
was that 119?
Yeah, we had 119. Yeah.
Oh wow! So being at 119 is it's just really crazy, and and that just shows you like, yeah, we've been sitting here for 3 hours, but it almost didn't really even feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
Or,
Just it literally just that's just where the conversation went. And still after all this time to have this many people in here, I mean that's freaking awesome. And like I said, I guess you guys want to hear what me and Mac have to say, but it's all about you know having you guys represented, having people talking about you guys, and we're happy that we can bring a platform to that, man. So shout out to everyone. Even if you disagree with me, even though y'all press me every time you see me outside, just know I stand on it. I stand on it. That's it. That's my last. That's all I got. What you got, Mac? Sign out.
Listen, man. I'll be at some games this weekend. Seeing what's going on. I'm happy to come on here next Monday. We'll have the playoff picture kind of
Yeah.
painted. Hopefully, PSAL lets us.
Wait, will we have it if a Legree, if you're still Coach Legree, if you're still in the chat, are we gonna know the playoffs by this time next week?
No, you should. Yeah, you should. I'm pretty
Is
sure.
that 100%? We're gonna have all the brackets?
Yeah. Monday? Yeah, you should. You should. Definitely should.
Uh, I'm just gonna stall for time. I don't know if any coaches or anyone knows for sure. Um,
Pitt versus
yo,
Madison.
he's saying that you got pull up to JFK again. Okay, so Legree is saying that for
Yeah.
sure we're gonna have the playoff brackets. Okay.
And hopefully PSAL comes out and let us know where the championship games are being played and what day, you know what I'm saying? So we can kind of get situated. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Please win that game.
Yeah, and like I said, once you guys don't have to ask me about the streaming the games. Like if you see me, I'm obviously gonna post about it once I know. Um, so definitely look out for that. Um, so yeah, that's it, man. Like I said, much respect to everybody. Appreciate all the coaches in here. Shout out to Coach Pierre. Shout out to Dre. I know Dre's long gone. But shout out to you guys. You know, you guys are behind the scenes helping us out to be able to put on that Eagle versus FJM game. I was really happy to be able to show the two ways some love. And that's it, man. So it's a long show. So appreciate everybody.